队友第一时间全部赶到 BOG， 这个结束度更快。
逼过来抢位置了，但这波 RNG 的下半河道视野是完全没有的。
但这个时候永恩也来了，永恩是有一个守护天使的，又在找绕后的角度，汤圆顶天怪绕闪现攻，节节交闪，但是勾到嘎啦了，嘎啦被举了，又是乐乐，嘎啦有一个中亚结束被死个亚直接 Q 死，永恩这边回到自己的位置，再一勾又勾到大树了，乐乐你要干什么？他还要再往前勾吗？这边杰杰被打出一个中亚，杰杰这个位置要被孙中亚直接击杀了，再往前看到了等帅，等帅也要倒，永恩 Q3 吹起飞机。飞机这个位置一丝血4分1分3 1Q， 汤圆很激进啊，这位置阿卡丽开扫描看到阿卡丽了，
哎，但是消失了，那一瞬间选择进场，交金身这边做大招下来，要想这边投篮，乐乐加上加金全部被秒了，那团战结束了呀，
成功了，
他绕到了，
但是汤圆还在，而你能不能站？汤圆交闪现，自己插到龙坑里，没有人能够跟他做配合，这波rookie立功了。
感觉可以对啊！我还是闪2秒，我去猎我 W，看我 ，nice， 哎可以越下来，拦住，可以泰坦也行，我看泰坦也行，泰坦把他，杀辅助，你们推2秒，看，走，nice，堵他，没线了，不用堵了，没上面给定，我会上面给。下不来的，我觉得直接开，感觉可以开呀，等他们过来，哎瑞，看我吧，来开吧，杰拉，把他杀了！看我一下，看杰斯，泰坦，看杰斯，泰坦，看我，我可以追，杰斯，打龙，不用追了，来吧，龙，可以看上面的，哎，兰博，兰博，慢点，EZ，可以看我，先打，EZ，我打不到了，慢慢追，可以看呀，击飞了。nice， 打那个，走吧，先打可雪吧，看飞机，打位，永恩，我死了，我也死了，我也踢了，你们自己看吧，我都死了，能保护我？你死吧，我死不了，我没踢啊，我踢了，哎，这一直可以看，快到了，我绑住了，我捅死他，一个人了，这里一个人了，小了吧？一个人怎么了？一波了呀？一波吗 ？nice， 一波了呀。慢点，要走一走。哎，来，上往来，我在后面，也没在右边。哎，就往那边走，没事，他们不敢过来的。看我。AD，梦魇可以杀，波比。nice， 可选，牛头没闪。好了。哎，看金克斯，阿卡丽，金克斯。我被切到了 ，nice， 来，哇塞，这么激动吗，北北？干死他！开头喽！一波，起飞！我只能这样跳，不想死了。那为什么？我说来就新年快乐了呀 ，nice。我穿这个很难走路啊。
我也想套一下。
你也想穿一个吗？
你打完去把那个道具抢过来。
对，打完去抢过来，你就当默默。
我站你后面。
来了，看一下，我可以学 Q 打起来，该开手了吧？
你要 Q 吗？
哎，我 Q 把了，等上，
真的
，nice， 不行，走，有点太远了呀，别急啊，走，三皇过来了，走，要走，拉一下，要走，尼克有大的，慢点，哎，要打也行，我大了，看尼克，猴子，
感觉会赢，
猴子真的。能打，上皇，可以追，我也扶，别急，
等我，兄弟们，等我。
OK， 沙皇，看一下，
我来了，
干嘛呀他们？你可以帮我送一进，看一下位置，
到位置了，我可以直接关灯的，
对，上路下沙皇，我
觉得绕过来了，准备打架，
上没 Q，
收位，感觉他会赢，
上皇，
猴子
一下，上皇，
一波，
你就在草里站着，反正我也不过去，这样。
我
他不打我也不过去。
推不上上来。
热三来，
哎，牛头绕了，牛头。
哎，
感觉能打，感觉能打，
慢点，有点远，有点远。
我踢了，
我不会守。
拉下，我马上到，孙继平秒，我马上到，孙继平秒。我那
会赢。哎呦，加料，
就杀这两个，牛头。哇！大冲，宋一金无敌量，这什么啦？是无敌乌鸦王。
我觉得这里要一会儿过去。
啊！
他们要推下，
你可以看这跳了，赵姐姐，我这边我想过去
看一眼。
OK。
踢了。
哎，能跳？
上面踢了。
哎，龙，
我兄踢了。
哎，龙死，慢点。
拉下，着急，
你拉开。Nice， 可以追，对吧？来了。追吧。
我要打前锋，听一下，我要打前锋，你们自己追。
打了，打前锋，
两边包，
鳄鱼可以包，
两边包，我位置很好。
八仙，
我去正面，
准备打架，
准备打，你可以跳，
我在后面，
打架，我的，准备打架。
没事，应该能。
我在干活，
哎，看一下我赵姐姐，
我们俩应该
可以的，
我能救你，我杀还挺高的。
OK，
全死了，对面。
OK， 杀，nice，赵姐姐跟他玩吧。去中，你们去中，看能不能一波。
一波了。
OK， 赵姐
我跟他刷上岸，我能刷1年。
OK， 先拆，
刷1年。
一波了。
拆，不一定啊，我们没虫啊。
我能断臂，我
先拆，30秒，断他，别死就行，捡被动。
说了2个人谁都死不了。
20秒，拆吧。OK， 拆。鳄鱼扛一下，鳄鱼扛一下。扛一个。没有线哦，不一定能拆，先拆吧。可以的，10秒，可以给雷欧娜活了。A 塔救 A 塔，雷欧娜活了救 A 塔，5秒 A 塔。鳄鱼 A 塔。nice。
Track of time, chasing down the sky. I found something I like, freedom going by. Oh, the landscapes of your eyes got a hold of me. In the sky for freedom, away from my days. Oh, searching in the sky. Oh, and the landscape's going by.
She rock that suit like she slay, she fair, she overconfident, she don't need no mirror, no. Take a look, soak it in, watch closely. This is how you live. saying all the words that I have to say. See me if I'm stepping out the house, I slay. Black boots and a big gold chain. Diamonds on my tooth and diamonds on my cane. Chilling with the crew, every day we gon' hang. Work hard, play hard, got money on the brain. She cool, she cute, she unbelievable. She rock that suit like she slay, she fierce, she overconfident. She don't need no mirror, no. Take a look, soak it in, watch closely. This is how you live. Turn it up, let it rip. Watch closely. This is how you live. You get what you give me. I'll try to hit, but I never miss. Take a look, soak it in, watch closely. This is how you live. Turn it up, let it rip. Watch closely. This is how you live. The fire burns right through. Your weakness is my fuel, and this time your demise is my first prize. And I've not forgotten all the pain. The wounds still cut deep, and I have followed every move you make. Now I am right here. I'm waiting. Come find me. I'm everywhere, though you're blind to see. I'm boundless in the darkness. I must prevail. Survive and try, and watch me rise. Create destruction, all the madness. You want it all, I'll give you all. But this time you'll bow down to me. Just fight and try, and watch me rise.
Alright folks, hello, I move this way, there we go. I need to not go on the mic, hopefully you can all hear me. Hello. Good to see you. Good morning to Twitch, good morning to YouTube, good morning to Olivia as well, who I believe will be restreaming us today for the first time ever as well, so thank you very much. To the YouTube viewers following us on a different channel out there as well. Really excited for doing that. I am Initialise, and I'm joining, despite what it says underneath me right here, the great Nymaera in spirit, who is in fact in chat, but not here physically, so that's going to have to do. Turn down the background sound by about half. I can do that. I haven't changed all that much on the settings, so I'm assuming this is just way too loud up here. We can drop that up there, and that's fantastic. We can do that. I can't, sadly, change the quality up on this. Well, sadly, can't do that. It is not allowed. Can't get it to happen, which is very annoying, but we'll hopefully figure that out as we go. But it won't let me do it, which is a bit of a shame. But yes, we are here. Good to see you all. I am Initialise. I'll be taking you through today's games, which of course is NIP versus FPX. So that means we get Doumbé versus FPX, which should be very intriguing at the very least. So quite excited to see how all that plays out, because of course, where did Doumbé really make his true name for himself? Was winning the World Championship in 2019 on FPX. Before that, of course, he was on things like Chagu Reapers and all those other space one, which are quite exciting. Got a little bit of time before we go. And if that's Mecha Fanboy, I see you in here. Oh, this doesn't look like my streamer. Mecha, you're my head mod. What do you mean it doesn't look like your streamer? I am, in fact, one of your streamers. Thank you for the resub. It's super appreciated. So OBS capturing the scene twice. You need to close one of the window captures. Why are there two window captures? I've only just changed the thing for one. I've just done what was on the camera scene. You've opened another window capture. No, I haven't. I'll close it. So I've not changed anything here, I don't think. That's weird as hell. Oh yeah, that's really weird. What the heck is that second one? Huh. I see what you mean now, Al. If I turn this off, what happens? Okay. Well, we found it. That's really weird. I'm not giant. Well, that's fine on there. Okay, well it turns out you've got 8 window captures, Alex? Oh my days. The background is still too loud. Okay, good to know. Good to know. We can have a play with that in a second as well. But there we go. Hopefully that has now resolved. We'll go down about there. That's fantastic. So yeah, for the record, I hadn't touched anything on the window captures and what was open and not. I literally just changed the input to the window capture. That's all I'd done. Yeah, I can't. So Alex, I can't. It literally won't let me, unfortunately. Come down here, change it. Will not let me change. Unless I get the Huya app, which I can't do for now. So yeah. Oh, it did log me out. Yeah, unfortunately. But yes, apparently you've been logged out, which means I cannot change. I also, just me, I just tried to move the mouse off screen onto a second screen, because I'm so used to doing that. And I can't do that, of course, because Alex doesn't have a second screen on this setup. And so I try to move his mouse across onto my laptop off to the side, which just doesn't work. Hey, Solo Puppy, good to see you. How's the NLC the other day? Oh, NLC was good today. Thank you very much. And Henla. Nice rotating, Ari. I appreciate you. Go to the login bit on here. I can QR code it. Are you going to try... do you want to do that on stream, dude? I can do that. Shouldn't be an issue. Cool. All right. There you go. There is your QR code, Alex. Get us logged in for the quality. This is what we call... This is what we call remote support, guys. Tech support from other parts of the world. It's great. Drumroll. And so I see you, Olivia. Good to see you. Just got that chat open as well. So hopefully it should be good. Damn, now we're looking a little different. Yeah, I am the Nymaera brother. I am Initialise. I am his co-caster. I live in the same place as him. We're doing LPL stuff today. Hopefully should be getting into game in about 5-6 minutes. Shouldn't be too long. How's it going, Alex? My bad, quality too bad on TV screen, don't bother, can't do it from him. Okay, never mind. No worries. Alas, we are logged out. It's very annoying. Alas, alas, alas. Sometimes those be the things, though. Can't do too much about that. For now, I did it again. I tried to move the mouse across to my laptop. I need to get so used to that. It's very obnoxious. Let me pop this out. That's what I'm going to do. Pause that there. That can come over here. Now I should hopefully have all 3 chats open at once. My power is incredible. None can match me in this moment of triumph. There we go. Fabulous stuff. No, stop that. Stop that. There we go. I'm trying to put one of the chats to be bigger than the other. I can't be having that. Right, guys. Before games and stuff kick off, I'm going to run off and get my coffee that's been brewing away in the kitchen. And we'll go from there. Give us a heads up if anything needs to be changed. I know Alex is in chat just saying when volumes are a little too much, which hopefully should have been resolved now. And we can go on from there. It looks like how many matches and stuff that will be... what is that? Matches that have been played? Surely not, because... Oh, my friends, we have LTA South playing as well. So they have had double the games. I think that might be the number of games we've played so far, or however number of games we'll be getting this. But... Manager info. Of course, there's the they've got the LPL manager as well, which is super good. Okay, I will be back in a moment with coffee. I also need to log into dashboard and run some ads, which would be also important. So we'll be back in a second with that. Okay, I have in fact got my coffee. FPX interview. I see. Oh, I recognize that Ari statue. Alex got that one up there somewhere.
年后的首战上来就面对到的是由老牌中单都硬币坐镇的深圳 NIP， 所以大家都很期待你们在中路的一个斗法，你自己有怎样的期待呢？
因为上次交手还是在22年嘛，所以这次我也是比较期待吧，毕竟硬币哥我觉得还是挺厉害的。
赛前的小短片拍的也挺好的。那同样的，因为在上场当中和 RNG 的比赛当中，其实是比较遗憾的失利了嘛，所以在结束了之后，你们是觉得哪些地方需要再打磨，然后去做得更好呢？
首先是因为第一场嘛，因为我们新人比较多，所以在那场可能是大家都比较紧张，有点不知道干什么的感觉，所以 就是打完之后我们就是调整一下心态嘛，然后在团队配合还有沟通方面都优化了一下。
希望今天这场比赛可以打出更加有提高的一个方法。
One second,
谢谢
guys.
K 来到我们的参加采访。同样，我们也请到了深圳 NIP 的中单选手都英 B， 英 B 哥跟大家打招呼吧。
大家好，我是深圳 NIP 中单都英 B。
今天这场
Well,
比
there we
赛
go. I need to. What do I need to do? There's one last thing I need to do, isn't it?
而且其实大家非常非常期待 NIP 能不能够延续在年前的一个惊艳表现。你觉得大家的状态维持的如何？
其实我们年货训练赛差不多打了1个礼拜吧，我觉得我们年货的状态比年前好很多，我觉得反而是更好。我也不知道为什么，感觉大家可能是过年的时候吃的也很多，然后休息也挺好，然后回来感觉大家状态更好，
活力全开是吧？而且这场比赛也是你在赛场上再遇老东家了嘛，应该也是感慨万千的。所以在赛前有没有什么话想对对手说的呢？
想对对手说的话，主要是以前我的队友都已经不在了嘛，都是新的选手，然后只想对对面打野说，今天的这一场比赛，你算是今年的第一场吧，有可能是今年的最后一场，要小心点。
感觉话是放得很狠的。我们来期待一下今天这场精彩的 BO5。
You log out of that briefly. We should be getting into game very shortly, guys. 40 seconds, in fact. Just sorting some bits out in the background while we're paying attention. So I do apologise, guys. I will be paying more attention to you all shortly. Alex, if you're listening, can you check out your SMS codes that I may sort out some background stuff? You're the best at creating LOL highlights. Oh, someone's showing some nice shout outs to Anivia, I see. That's very cool. Thank you very much, Alex. I see. Fabulous. Oh, I can now run adverts. How exciting. Okay. Now in a position to sort us out on that one if we need to, which should be very helpful. Oh, it's logging me out of things. Oh no. There we go.
观看2025英雄联盟职业联赛第一赛段，您可以通过英雄联盟客户端找上英雄联盟及英雄联盟赛事官网 LPL.QQ.com、虎牙直播、斗鱼直播、哔哩哔哩直播、咪咕视频、腾讯视频、腾讯体育、新浪微博、微信视频号进行收看。电视机前的召唤师可以通过百视通平台收看全程赛事。
Seems like sound isn't syncing the feed, or maybe I do read the YouTube chat favors. So what's up with the sound sync? Hoping it's been resolved a little bit as well. Oh, that's an interesting thought as well. We'll tell you what, Mecha. Probably don't have time now because draft and stuff's coming up. But I can probably send a quality picture of the QR code. Yeah, you're right. That is a good thought, Mecha. Game sound isn't synced on YouTube. Right, that is odd. Not sure what to do about that one. That is very weird. I wonder why the game sound isn't synced. So I'm not. Well, that's good to know, Adon. I'll have a look and see whether we can fix that. Let's have a look. But I appreciate the heads up. But I do indeed have, and again, YouTube chat's open, so if there are any issues. When they were interviewing wasn't matching. Okay, honestly, it might, I haven't got the headphones on, it might actually have been their end, interestingly, because I have not heard anything else anywhere else. If it keeps going, Tish, give us a heads up. And we'll have a look with that as well. That's fine. But good to know. And yeah, we'll be coming into draft shortly. So I need to get that off the screen. Because we've got some intros happening. And we're playing... with all the people coming on out. Should be really exciting. Of course, FPX versus NIP, and we'll be in Shenzhen, because of course, it's NIP's home arena, and they own one, which is quite cool. Look how excited they are.
首先欢迎 Fun Plus Phoenix， 上单 Sheer， 打野 Shadow， 中单 Care， 下路 Bat， 辅助俊伟。
Sheer finally looking old enough to play. There is a bit of that. He's been a he is a young man. He's not been playing all that long, and he got pulled up basically without having done any academy stuff. 5%. This guy is so damn good, which is very exciting. And for the first time, Duinby versus FPX. That is a wild story. I think for a long time people thought he would never leave. Iris looking fabulous today. But then again, we say this every time we see the LPL hosts. They've always got the most outrageous of outfits. Seeing some NIP hope in chat. I see you all. Sounds good. Fantastic. That's good to know, Tice. Also, I'm just appreciating the fact there's just loads of kitchen towel on the keyboards. Probably did it with sweaty hands, actually, is probably what that is. But that's very entertaining. It's got cloths on there to stop it getting sweaty or dirty. Hello, Anivia's chat as well. I see you over there. Welcome to the LPL. Hopefully we're getting some live stuff this time around as well. Really excited to be working with Anivia on this one. Should be really, really exciting. So hello, chat. Welcome on in. Do say hello. I've got the chat open. Over on Nymaera's channel. Collaborating with Anivia to get more and more people involved with the LPL where and when we can. So that's really, really awesome. What the fuck? Okay. When they were interviewing was the match? Okay. Okay. 1v1 incoming. It's going to be Sheer versus Duinby. Oh man, the mad scientist himself, one of the veterans of the league returning to play, versus Sheer, who's about as new a hyper prodigy as we've got here. Which is pretty wild. Let me get these headphones on as well, so I can hear what's going on. There's the Rumble and the Oriana bands, and we're going to get a Jace versus Kled matchup. Oh my days. Hang on, let's try to get the volume about right. There we go, something like that. Oh, wow, it's really loud background music. And Alex, you have your APM so high. What the heck? There we go. Morning, Katari. Good to see you. And I don't believe it. Duinby's decided, in his infinite wisdom, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick Kled, the champion that he made famous in the mid lane. Made famous in the mid lane. He is known for cooking. And Sheer over here is going to be like, what? Okay, I'm just playing Jace. Normal champion, I know how it works. Surely this can't be too weird, right? Surely. Just in time, hell yes. So, heading on to, not necessarily the rift, actually, the bridge, the abyss. The howling abyss, for that matter. And there's our starting options. Jace going for the barrier ignite, got Conquer, and he's also starting Warden's Nail and a cloth armor into the double Doran's longsword part of Doomby, who's also gone for the ignite and the barrier. No exhausts to be seen. Trinity's calling me stinky as well. How dare you? I see you in chat. We'll see how this all plays out. And interestingly as well, we're actually hearing a little bit of the Chinese side caster audience, which is great. We've got a little bit of that ambience in the background, so give us a heads up where the volumes and stuff are at. Background isn't muted on me. I've not muted anything, or too quiet. I can up it again. Interestingly, the Champ Select music is blasting out at volume 35 times the volume of the sun. And then in-game, the volume is a lot quieter, which is really frustrating for leveling. But we have now the volume. And yeah, it does sound like actually there is a little bit of lag on the audio, but it's interestingly, that is on the Huya end. We might need to refresh and see whether we can sort that, because I'm also getting that lag on the audio, which is a bit frustrating. Yeah, that is so delayed. Yeah, it's on our end too. It might well be the Huya clean feed, unfortunately, guys. Might be the clean feed doing that to us, which is a bit frustrating. At which point, because we're not logged in, oh dear. Right, well, I'll try and get that QR code over to you. And we'll sort it from there. Bit annoying, that. Hang on, Cheer's being jumped on. That's the lunge on forward. Joust on forwards, I apologize. And Doomby dismounts. It gets to the skies. The ignite comes on down. Big old chunk. And Doomby's not having fun there. Got the barrier, looking for the remount, and a turret shot came on through, which means Doomby's going to get that remount off just fine. Wow, that's lagged. What the heck? That's from the fight a long time ago. That's like a 10-second delay. That sound delay is a little obnoxious. I'm not going to lie. Doomby's also just got level 6. So does he want to go charging forwards at some point? We need to keep our eyes on it. That is actually slightly unnerving, having that sound delay. I keep thinking skill shots are happening when they've not, or have already happened. So we're seeing into the future, guys. We have been granted the blessed power of time travel. Now you too can see things before they are heard. We'll have a quick go at refreshing this after the 1v1. Don't want to miss that right now. See whether we can resolve that in the background. Can't trigger without far enough. Alright, well in that case we shall mute. And we'll play with no sound for now, if that is the preferred option. And we'll go off that. If you have to enter the password, don't show that on screen, obviously. I mean, yes, that's very reasonable. We'll have a go at playing that in a second or two. But yeah, it does appear like we have a bit of sound delay, which is very frustrating. And hopefully we can resolve that in short order. But we'll have to watch out this 1v1 to begin with. A little bit deafened. So it'll just be my voice in your ears for now. And we will go off that for as short a time as we can to ensure that there will be no issues. But cheer on the Arcane Jace. Doing alright in the farm numbers. But again, you don't win by farming in this game. You only win by doing the damage. It's whoever dies or whoever kills the turret. And in fairness, Sheer is doing a decent old job of getting some of those plates. And missing a bear trap on a rate. Not so good. But I need to get that one a plate. Yeah, rather have delayed time than no sound. That's super fair. We'll keep that in mind. We'll have a little talking chat about that sound thing, but after the 1v1. I think for now, just because it's messing us up a little bit, we will keep it at muted. But Here's Doenby. Gonna get jumped in on. Goes jousting back in, has the charge. Used it. Down to the Skull-less form. Sheer with a fair amount of HP, but Doenby, with a phage to his name, gonna try and clear up enough minions here to remount. If anybody's got a way of knowing how Kled manages life, it would be Doenby, who's not miles off getting the remount. In fact, I think he's gonna get it. Gonna try and get the all-in! And Sheer secures it. There we go. Beautifully done. Sheer with the 1v1 against the Kled. Doenby having some fun. Can't quite get the remount. And that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. And I see you, Tish. Don't worry. We'll have a play now to see whether we can, in fact, get this to be a little less lagged. Right, let's reload. See if we can get that resolved. Oh dear. Right, 1 second, guys. I can't let you see this. I'm sorry. I can't let you see this. Just be a full cam for now. Just be a full cam. Actually, on cam full screen. That's the one we want. That's more like it. Right, 1 second, guys, while I sort some passwordy stuff out in the background. So it's just me. Hello. Hope you're all having fun. Where? Oh, where? Is my notes. There we go. Alrighty then. That should solve us. Okay. Let's see if this is any better. Whoa, that's loud. There we go. That should do us. And then we go back into this, interestingly. That should solve us. Are we back into game? No, they're just playing again. Interesting. Despite the kill coming on over. Hoping that's better. We'll give it a go. That seems to be better. That's better. A reload seems to have solved us. 2 kills, Yawn. It's first. You know. It's genuinely because I've only done. It's first to 2 kills. Hang on. I remember doing the one with. Oh, that's because it was a ring out. That's what it was. It was ring out. Just thinking, why did the Shy win that one with just the 1 kill the other week? And I realized that was because it was a ring out, which changed how it worked. I was getting baited. Sheer. Oh dear. Oh, Doenby. He's just better. But there we go. The ring out happens. Camera off. Camera. Oh, I've not got camera off. I got camera on. I thought I'd gone for the no camera scene. Apologies. She was doing so well too. Interestingly, I clicked on the wrong scene in OBS. There you go. Oh, and Nymaera looks a bit different today. He does. So I view things through OBS. That's fair. Do you just not... Alex, in fairness, I'm fairly certain we still watch the game full screen, right? So at which point... How on earth? Are you... Did I manage to log in, by the way? No. No, I did not. Full screen preview. Oh, that's what you're doing. Fair enough. No, that's good to know that you can do it that way, because I don't tend to do that. I tend to do OBS on a second screen, so I don't have to do that. That's fair. But that does make a lot more sense. Much better, thank you. Okay, well the sound is now synced, which is lovely. So a refresh did the job. And hello, Onivia's chat as well. I see you in there. Yeah, really happy to be... Alex, what Mecha said was that basically taking a picture of the QR code and sending it over to you. What the hell is the LPL? For the record, to Prince, what the LPL is, it's a version of League of Legends. Specifically, the LPL. The ads are starting. Yeah, I see it. Right. Guys, basically, I didn't have dashboard up in time because we had that issue. So we'll try and deal with ads very shortly. Hopefully, those of you who have already gotten subscriptions won't have to deal with them, which would be lovely. But what we'll probably end up doing is I'll run some ads now so we don't get ads in game. So we'll miss a bit of draft for those of you back home, but it just means that we're not going to get ads in game, which would be really, really obnoxious. So I do apologize, but we are going to have to do that. And Mecha's sorting us out! 100 gift bomb! Stop it, Mecha! He can't be stopped. He's a mad Twitch bomber. Subscriptions flying. And yet there is no official LPL stream anymore. It's just us. But we are going to run some ads very quickly as Mecha helps deal with that fallout. And we'll get into draft properly. Give us a heads up where volume and stuff are at. Because as I said, Champ Select music today is weirdly super loud. Super loud. Not as loud as this giant set of bombs the Mecha fanboy dropped. But as we can see, Empire Blue, FPX Red, bans I don't think should surprise us there. They're all super potent. Aurora was up. K'Sante was up. The meme in the LPL in China is if you win the 1v1, you are getting to first pick K'Sante. It's just K'Sante first picking simulator out here, guys. It's just K'Sante first picking simulator. The response is to Jace Corki. Cork can go bot, Cork can go mid, Jace can go bot. Oh, sorry, Jace can go mid, Jace can go top. We've seen a fair amount of tank Jace. It's pretty obnoxious. And the Aurora now locked in as well, was left unbanned. That's likely going towards Do and B in that mid lane. Something really weird is happening. And that champion is also very, very pertinent right now. Can expect some very nasty team fights between that K'Sante and the Aurora. You've got the big ultimates. There is Viego for Aki, a champion he is very comfortable on. Especially considering he had a bit of a rough last year, was expected to be better than he was. Aki and Shanju were so good on OMG in 2023, but the meta last year really didn't suit him, and when he was forced to play a lot more of those AP junglers, just didn't look like the same. Didn't look like the same kind of player, unfortunately for him. In response to the Sejuani, a champion that has kind of still been around and about. A really good pick option. If you are running some of those really big poke burst combos, you add in your Jaces, your Hueys. You see a little bit of Zoe from the likes of Showmaker, where you can sort of link that up with the Sejuani, and everybody just piles on the damage from miles away. But it has meant that our bot lanes haven't been picked as yet. Leave and PP Gods versus Bat and Dway. Leave, of course, on EDG, famously, before there was a little bit of internal drama, to say the least. Managed to make a bit of a kerfuffle over there, but now over on NIP. And Bat and Dway trying to prove their worth here on FPX bans. Going towards that Ziggs, which again would be a really good combo with that Sejuani ult. You basically hit whoever the Sejuani hits, and they die a horrible death. And on the other side, getting rid of some of those pick initiation options, because for all you've got really good burst and team fighting, you don't have that much lockdown right now on the side of NIP. So getting rid of the Ashe is one of those premier engage ADCs, instigator ADCs. Makes some sense. The Ezreal as well is a bit of a leave special, so they're getting rid of that. The Yone away from Care, and this makes some sense. Of course, Shadow should be a familiar name as well to people out there. If I remember correctly, that is the Shadow that once played way back in the LEC. Over in LPL for a little while now, struggling to find a nice start. But as a player that I know a number of the European players, LEC players, a lot of the LEC coaches have a lot of fond memories of when he was playing for the likes of Mad Lions back in the day. So over back in his home country, home region of the LPL, looking to make things happen. The swift engage, or swift lock-in of the engage of the Rel. More to link up with that Sejuani. Now, what are we thinking to go on the other side? Leona makes some sense, of course. Instigator ADC, like the word choice? I see you, Mick. I shouldn't be looking at chat while we're in draft, but yeah, no, I like that one too. I think it's a useful option. What does Leave want to go? There's a few options. The Misfortune would certainly work in the teamfight combo they've drafted. Aurora MF, with your Viego picking up whatever bodies they bring down. Definitely makes some sense as a combination. What though? Do FPX want to lock in? Corki can still go down towards bat in the bot lane, and Corki Rel is a combo we've seen a fair amount of so far. And the Victor, to try and manage some of the people diving on forwards, can make some sense. Your zone control with your gravity fields and arcane storms now, because of course he is the herald of the arcane. The machine part, subsumed somewhat by the weird Magitech monstrosity stuff that happens at the end of Arcane Season 2 that I've still not watched, by the way, guys. Still not done that to myself. Held off. I did a whole video on it. A whole video on how Arcane is in fact just old school Shakespeare tropes. And it is. It's actually really cool. It's all revenge tragedy tropes. Go watch that video over on Initialise Cast's YouTube. That's me. You can follow me too. That would be awesome, guys. It's not just me on this channel. I'm also on my own channel. And Alex isn't here to stop me. But those are our drafts for the day. And indeed, if there are audio issues, guys, I do have chat open. So hoping we don't have those issues in game. But I think with the refresh, we resolve the issues. And hopefully it should all be good here. And Alex is calling it out here as well. We've got JVic in rivalry, none less. Actually, no, is it? Now that I think about it. I've forgotten which sides they're on. No, it's not. I'm just a lie. Is JVic on the same team? Mel's not enabled, so she's not getting involved right now. For those in Twitch as well, go predict with your channel points. Go put your channel point money where your mouths are. Rift's coming up shortly. FPX with a monster team fight comp. Alongside NIP. Should be getting some big brawls around objectives, I have no doubt. You can see it in the combos. The Rift is here. The Gyro's ringing out. Let's listen to the crowd for a second, shall we? We have got a little bit of a level 1 here, so I hear the Gyros, but just a little wary as they are. Just timing out there a second. Pull away. Just wards going on down. Are they looking to lane swap this? Where is that recall happening? Misfortune gets away with it. Leaves. Kind of appropriate considering the namesake. I'm hearing the pings, but I think, at least for now, things seem relatively synced. We'll see. Wait until we see some skill shots. Fingers crossed, audio is synced. And all is right with the world. Preferring NIP's team fight here. Yeah, I think I might agree with you. It's a little easier, and I think the Viego makes a lot of sense. You've got two massive burst ultimates with the Aurora and the Misfortune. You kill the first target. Viego picks up the body of Shanji, though. It's going to be on the wrong end of a crash down. Gets a decent path maker into a flash. Gets out to safety, but picks a very unsafe route through the jungle and will not get to lane. And cost himself the summoner for only the Ignite of Jway. FPX, though, got themselves between the Corki and the Jace and the Victor. A lot of wave clear, a lot of zone control. And theoretically, slightly better range, actually, as the game goes on. See how the Jace decides to build. Has gone towards the Conqueror, but a lot of Jaces do that anyway. So we'll see, even in the lane swap, whether the Jace decides towards a particular option. Actually, the Jace is roaming down towards the bot lane. Not going to try and pick up XP towards the top lane. Not going to try and go mid lane to play the 2v1, as we've seen sometimes. Actually going to try and join this dive and play for a slightly old school lane swap, where the Jace has actually managed to pick up level 2 by sharing it with the bot lane. And zones, of course, the Cassante completely off this turret. But of course, he does leave Corki and Shears Jace here sharing the XP. Could be a little problematic. Jace generally speaking. Wants to be pretty lane dominant, has across his career in general. Gets away with a little bit more now, of course, with the tank options and the fact that isn't as obligated to have 2 to 3 plates just from the laning phase. And Shanji on a ward, feeling very miserable. Like, what do you do here as a Cassandra? You've got a W and no flash. It's all you've got for your life. So the plates all falling, and of course, NIP in the lane swap going into the top lane turret, which has the significantly tougher plates. So it's not getting as many plates. Is getting more farm theoretically, or isn't sharing the XP, rather. But Bat's at least even in CS, even he's going to be down a level or so. Aki, though, looking for potential angle here onto Care. Gets the slow with a weirding, does DoNB. Hops on forward to go across the Veil. Care gets a decent gravity field. Doesn't flash. Dies for first blood. NIP on the board. And they've also reset to try and rescue poor Shanji here. And reset the lane somewhat. The observers know that Cassandra is not having fun. Might finally get some experience, but that wave is all the way shoved in topside. And with sheer teleporting in, we'll likely be getting towards level 4 or something first. And actually, if Sheer gets beyond the wave, can potentially just prevent Cassandra getting into range of XP in the first place. How aggressively does Sheer want to play this? That's just a level 1 Cassandra. It's not all that scary. Gonna start crashing in now, I expect, but Shanji's just walked knowing he might well have to reset back. Jue gets the mount up there to force Leave to take a turret shot. Nice angle from the Rel. Leave cleanses, but is down to 20% HP, and Corky's just returned to lane. I think Leave's going to want to reset off this anyway. Needs to be really aware, because Jue wants to flash on this, starts to speed up. Flashes over the Leona, can't quite make it happen though. And PP God does enough work body blocking to prevent the Shattering Strike hitting forwards. But Leave, you'll note, still blew the flash. Didn't feel safe to Shanji. Finally get some CS at level 2! Congratulations, Cassandra. You're playing the game, finally. Finally playing the game. Well, well, well. Into game we go. DoNB again, just hopping forwards, goes across the Veil, gets the E off. It's a really obnoxious combo, guys. W into E just does a lot of work. If you can get a Q off before it as well, so you can stack down and then kind of reactivate the twofold hex to get even more damage, it's really, really annoying. A lot of the power came out of Aurora's ultimate, understandably. A little bit about a W as well. And instead went more into her basic combo, but the level 6 just comes on through for DoNB, forces to flash out of Care. The gravity fields DoNB can't quickly follow up, but does still have to back away a little bit. Naki goes straight over towards those grubbies. Be starting those one up, and especially with Care having to back, having burned the flash as well, and being caught under his turret, and Misfortune having roll swapped into the Jace to get the shove up there as well. Will be NIP pretty uncontested on those grubs, and FPX say, well, fine, we'll take the dragon instead. Makes some sense. Bat and Jue continuing to trade out down here in the bot lane. Did they get that advantage against Leave? Remember that flash is down. Might want to be able to return to sender at some point and engage Misfortune in some further negotiations. Realistically, this could be engaging in piracy, which is a little ironic, against the Misfortune, stealing all of her booty and loot, killing her for all she's worth. Vagabonds that FPX would like to be. We play out from here. There goes the Drake. Shanji, dearest Shanji, has actually managed to catch up in some CS here, ironically. Somehow, despite not having access to like 2 waves, is down a level, yes, but has actually managed to get a decent amount of farm. So credit to Shanji. A possible question about Sheer and lane management from FPX. Gonna come down here and secure first turret nonetheless, though. So probably in the grand scheme of things, not an awful trade from FPX. Down a little bit of gold, of course, but the turret will even that up well enough. Leave and PP God, though, still gonna be able to trade this out in the top side. So it ends up being a turret for turret trade. Yes, the feat of mastery for getting the turret first goes towards FPX, but first blood, early CS leads, plate still trading just fine. Leave us in a state that is, I'd argue, still a little bit NIP favored here, despite the poor old Shanji start to the game. Game is still near enough 1,000 gold, just under to NIP right now, which isn't bad going, really, considering how difficult the lane swap initiation looked. Care roams on into the jungle and will be on a ward and is going to face check a level 6 Viego with people behind him. Obviously, don't quite know where FPX is, so Aki not wanting to just fight the Victor will take the red buff and back away. Doomby roams out of his lane. One of the most infamous roaming players of all time is Doomby. Made a name for himself. On FPX, of course. Now on NIP, which is a bit of a weird statement to be talking about, really. Doomby off of FPX, a team where he basically made himself synonymous. But he was incredibly famous for playing Nautilus, playing Malphite, and just leaving lane, being a second jungler, allowing TN to go fight the enemy jungler while he roamed, sacrificed his own lane to absolutely annihilate the side lanes with his support and jungle. On some champions and picks that were just so weird. And he's always been known for being a weird player, don't get me wrong. He's been known as the Dark Alchemist, the Mad Scientist, for years and years and weird years. It was back on QG Reapers where he was doing all of that wisdom, but at that point he was also a carry. He was on things like Kassadin back then. He was the main character. And kind of changed up his style away from laning on FPX to be a little bit more self-sacrificing. Of course, after that 2019 run, came back and worked on the laning and mechanics again, and actually became one of the better laners in the LPL too. And kind of gave that up. But of course, he's not been playing pro for a year or two now. He's been out. He's been streaming. He's been a personality. He's been me, guys. Which is a horrible thought, I know. But he's back to playing pro on Ninjas in Pajamas. PP God lands the Zenith Blade into the bullet time. And Doomby, the man we've been talking about, picks up a kill on Shadow, who's a shadow of his former self. Dead towards a very easy kill, and Doomby at 2-0. Oh boy, FPX didn't have a lot to say about that on a casual little E in forwards. And quickly somebody dies. Nice combo. And again, I try not to look at chat too much in-game because we're trying to make this one a little bit more professional. A bit more of a cast than just a casual chat around the fireside. But Nymaera in chat, Alex, the owner of this Twitch stream and YouTube stream, and of course, who has been restreamed over to Anivia as well. Hello, Anivia. We see you guys over there as well. Hope you're having fun. Says that NIP just left to avoid his casting. Leave needs to leave this play to avoid just dying. But with the tenacity from Cleanse, manages to flash out to safety. Despite all of the CC going down, gets away with it. Sheer flashing away as Shanji goes all out just this once, Master. And another flash burn. But no one dies, and NIP all the while. We're on grubs. Doomby's going to head back on over. Can't quite secure the 6 grubs, though, as FPX do enough work to secure at least one of those and prevent the full set going on over. And importantly as well, the second tick of that objective feat and mastery as well. And across we go. Looking at this one. As we'll get this replay, because Leave just ends up being jumped on. The Arctic Assault is there. The cleanse initially into the Permafrost, into the Glacial Prison still isn't enough. Reminder, guys, if you use cleanse, you still get increased tenacity for a while. It's really valuable. I think as well, Leave had already just picked up the Ghost Blade. It is a cheaper item as well. So was it actually, with that additional move speed, was really valuable for running away as fast as Misfortune could strut. Which it turns out was really, really fast. No one catwalks quite like an MF. Spat. Got a Valkyrie forwards. I saw what the observers were saying. Flash away from the Solar Flare. But a flash on forward for the Zenith Blade means that it's not Leona killing Leona. It's just Leona killing Corki. Slight weirdness on the death feed there. But that's the feat martial mastery there for your feats. And Aki will head on over to the Dragon with a dead AD carry they don't have to contend with. Flash and cleanse burn by Bat as well is a little bit rough to see. And FPX kind of getting schooled in these skirmishes, and the Gold League just extending further and further away. Yeah, you've got a decent team fight comp. Yeah, you're certainly going to have damage in spades once the Victor and Corki hit a couple items. When the Jace, even if he's a tank, gets a couple items himself, you'll still be putting out a respectable amount of damage. The problem is, On the other side, this Aurora, this Misfortune are hardly low damage slouches. Ahead of the curve going for mid-game builds. And the Viego is starting to pick up some of those bodies and turn it around will be very difficult to manage if the snowball gets any larger. Another turret plate down towards his bot lane as Care is down here. With Joy behind him, who had a really good start to this game. There were some really good rel moments. Shadow's going to find Aki in the jungle, gets a permafrost off. The harrowed path comes on down. Care gets jumped on. No, you're going to turn it around like that. Beautiful. As they pick up at least one Care. Wish he'd taken more Care. And teleport in from Shanji ensures that Aki picks up another body secured. And Shadow running for the hills, but the time is a bullet to the head. And it is up for Shadow. 3 dead, and LIP are making it look easy, guys. That's 2 kills on the Viego, 2 kills on the Aurora. Misfortune picks up another. Shanji with 5 grubs will pick up another turret bot. NIP walking it into a 4,000 gold lead. Sub 15 minutes. Sub plates falling. It is a rough state of affairs for FPX. Fun plus Phoenix are not having fun. Let's have a look at the replay. Because FPX start this play off. Aki's trying to roam to defend this, so it ends up being a jungle 1v1 and a bot lane 2v2 chase. And Shadow starts off thinking, I've got a really good angle onto this Viego, who ults out well enough, and PP God finds the Zenith Blade after Doombee's dumped all the damage on in his Care. Gonna have to throw down the Arcane Storm, and Shanji goes all out, but with Shadow around, has to flash away. A little bit of an ugly moment from Shanji, but we'll get out to safety. And despite a decent TP in that last play, Shanji's not really had to be involved. Survived a really ugly lane swap, and the rest of the map has been profiting. This Aurora, very happy. This Misfortune, very happy. This Viego, you guessed it, very happy. We got ourselves a Herald spawning in about a minute. The timers still haven't been updated for spectator overlay, guys. It still thinks they're spawning now. It doesn't. That's not how it works. It spawns a little later than it used to. As you can see, the timer is wrong. Follow the timers at the top of your screen. Those are more accurate for the Herald in particular. So just know it's going to be just under 50 seconds. We'll play off this one. And FPX need to sort themselves out. They went looking for some players and just been turned around pretty regularly. They've been a little bit caught out by the damage. And honestly, some fantastic engages from PP God. Found some really key targets that have put Care and Bat in particular into some very difficult scenarios. Shout as well on the Sejuani, trying to be the initiator. Has gone forwards and been punished a few times, especially into a lot of this early damage. The MF build here as well has gone towards the Ghost Blade first. Oh no, Shadow. On a ward! Oh, that's a Spectral Maw into a hail of bullets. Gets over the wall briefly, the burn and the bullet time! Does enough work to bring Shadow low once more. A third death. A third death for the Sejuani. And we'll back away just a little. As Doombe and PP God, and I think rightly so, PP God is having a killer game here on the Leona. And a player who has literally named himself in the most Giga Chad ridiculous way possible. He knows it that is not an Asian person who's named themselves something silly, not knowing what the name means in English. That is someone who's named themselves PP God, knowing full well what they have done. And of course, been on NIP for a while. Been all over the place, PP God. But kind of had a bit of a rough go of it last year. Was again one of those players who people were excited for when they first came. Was a player with swagger, is the way I want to describe it. Someone who had some verve, had some style, was a little overeager perhaps, but had some fun champions, was playing with angles that other people weren't seeing, and it looked really cool when he was ahead, but maybe overplayed it a little bit at points. And then kind of just ended up inting it away at points, I think it's fair to say. Herald charge in mids. Not really going to be much that FPX can do about that one. I'll just have to sit here, try and stop the second charge in NIP. Not going to get in the Herald, which would have been, I suspect, a mistake. So they'll back off that one. But glad to see PP God performing well so far this year. Not been a perfect run of it from NIP in some ways. There's been some teething issues, even if they've done well in the game. There's still been some moments we've gone, that needs to get better from an in-game state. But PP God, I think, alongside Leave, there were some question marks about them joining this team. Yes, people were excited for Doinby. But Aki and Shanji, this duo from OMG in 23, didn't live up to the hype last year. Shanji, who was this upcoming killer of a top laner on things like the Rumble, was supposed to be the next Bin, Breathe, 369 in those kind of spaces. Didn't live up to that hype. Aki, the issues of his champion pool in the meta were kind of exposed. Now it's a fearless best of 5. Will we see those rock up again? Or will actually another year of play where it hasn't worked out give him a little bit more tempering to his steel? Shadow, Glacial Prison's on the one side to deny a potential engage onto K, who's shoving up for that turret and couldn't quite grab it. But the other side of that, of course, is Leave and PP God. Leave, another one of those players who was supposed to be a prodigy, was in to replace Uzi. In to replace Uzi of all players. Of all players. And then fumbles it. Internal issues with him and other teammates. Gets himself in trouble with management. Gets dropped. Has to go down to LDL to come back up again. Is now on a different team. Of course, EEG definitely didn't have a particularly glorious 2024. No doubt about that. Fight in the jungle will drop. Lure drops a little later. Bullet time comes across alongside the Between Worlds. And FPX run for the hills as Shanji goes looking for an angle onto Bat, who Valkyrie's over the wall, but they still lose Leave. And Aki steals the soul of the Iron Horseman. And why are we dropping NIP lore dumps? Because FPX are in the ash form of the Phoenix right now. They are waiting to resurrect. There is no Firebird flying. They are waiting for next game to come back to life because NIP have shot them in the head. Well, currently 3 times according to the Misfortune. He's picked up 3 kills. And like, you know, winged him a couple times for a couple of assists too. It's been rough. We'll have a look at the replay because basically FPX come over to try and fight this. Jue's here to try and punish the invade. They got back coming on over, but that ward in the Wolf Pit means they've already got a flank from Shanji. The bullet time plus Aurora ult is still half the HP of people as they run away. And then Shanji's there, and then Aki gets to jump on forward to pick up another kill. It's a Sundered Sky Viego as well, going towards that build. There are a few different builds you can go. It is a pretty good one-item spike. It's a little bit more survivable as well, even with the kind of initial burst on the item proc. Shadow, oh, desperately trying to play frontline, and NIP are just everywhere, nowhere. That is safe. And I want to point out as well, Shadow's had this Heartsteel now for 5-6 minutes, has yet to get a Heartsteel proc, has yet to be able to auto someone, despite being a Sejuani, but autos are a part of the kit. It is so sad. It is so sad. And you're gone for a comp that's supposed to be there to teamfight against another comp that's there to teamfight. It is difficult to play like-for-like comps when the other person's just ahead. It's a sword versus a bigger sword. And the bigger sword is winning right now. Teleports on in. FPX feel they have to play it around the Atakan. I don't blame them. Maybe this will be the moment. But again, another big Aurora ultimate. Another huge bullet time. The turnaround is decent, though. And FPX at least on the board. But they'll lose to Sejuani and they get 1 kill. But the cost of everybody else. Sheer and Dwayne try desperately to get something. But it is an ace for just the price of PP Gods. They'll play for it. He died for their sins. Quite literally this time. And then IP will pick up an Atakan. Oh boy. Oh boy. It is a shellacking. I think it is certified. Atlas out there would understand. This is going to be a brutal one. Actually, it's not sub 20, but it might well still be sub 25. Bat, what happened to you? Your Valkyrie forwards, the teleports come on in, and the damage eviscerates the Corki, who does not get to play the game. The ice toboggan goes crashing on down. It's cool runnings, guys. It's that level of tobogganing before they've learned how to do it. And Leave doesn't even quite die. Oh, Chue, you've tried. It's actually been an okay rel game. Genuinely, there's been some cool moments, but the coordination from NMP has just been that little bit better. They've punished the advances that FPX have made. Like, look back to that play, the 3v3 bot lane, where they go looking to pick up Aki, who ults away, and then PP God jumps across the wall with Doinby getting an ultimate. And an Aurora that gets early kills, spikes in the mid game incredibly hard. Ludens, plus a stacking Dark Seal, plus a Shadow Flame. When you get your level 9, level 10, where your Q is max, where you are edging towards that second rank of ultimate as well, is some of the most potent the game of League of Legends provides. Potency. There we go. Better way of conjugating that sentence. You just do so much raw burst at that point. Yeah, you scale fine, don't get me wrong, as an Aurora. You scale pretty damn fine indeed, but that point in the game when you are ahead, before people have resists, when your burst is enough to take someone from 100 to 0 in the blink of an eye, yeah, that's when it really hurts. And at this point, an MF who started off with a little lethality for that Ghost Blade, it's been a pretty potent first item on her for a little bit, not the Bloodthirster, and then going towards things like the Essence Reaver, moving away from straight lethality into other options. You've got a very, very potent part of the game. There's another Aurora ultimate. Doomby has not been shy to put those out just to slow people down, and then the follow-up from the bullet time, this combo with all the withdrawals available is just too easy in the bot lane. We've got a 1v1 Shanji trying to take out Care, and Care will get a withdrawal at least, but is not going to be here for this fight in the base. And NIP can play fast and loose. They've got withdrawals. They want the Nexus turrets. Aki goes flashing for a Spectral Maw. Might finally die and does so, and they'll all have to withdraw it out of there. The Nexus turret stamp it. The inhibitor is down to FPX. That's what, 5%? If that on that Nexus turret, it is a difficult space. Shanji returns to the scene of the crime. Has teleported back on in. Jue is like, please let me clear this wave. Can't quite get the crash down on Shanji. There's a teleport here as well. They really want this Cassante who footworks. There's a gravity field. Oh, just about gets the W off. I thought he managed to interrupt that too slowly. But NIP are here to prevent the chase down on the Cassante. And especially because there's a dragon that's spawning, they really can't overchase. So this will be soul point for NIP. They don't get the Kashanji. And NIP continue to run this game. They are efficiently 9,000 gold ahead. They've got the feats. They've got themselves the Atakan. They've got themselves soul point. Doomby has said, screw this game. I'm picking up a Magi's. Leave has gone, that's great. I'm picking up a Lord Dominic's regards. At this point, you cannot build enough armor into this MF to not be hurt. Between the initial lethality on the Ghost Blade, between the LDR, no one is tanky to the MF right now, especially when they have to be respectful of the fact that Doomby's also a damage source. You can't just build raw armor. It's gonna suck. And there's a Baron. FPX have at least claimed a Scuttlecrap. They have an idea it's happening. We'll have a look at this replay because it's a 1v1. And the Victor Nation is not thriving as Kashanji tried to look for the Q3 into W combo. Fumbled it. But Shanji still finds a footwork into Q combo. Tries to go all out. Can't quite manage it. And Care goes, bro, what are you doing? But it only costs a withdrawal. So Shanji dies, but not really. Not really. Not really. Such is life sometimes. And Baron is spawning. So there isn't really all that much you get to do at this point. FPX, you just have to sit there and suffer, is the honest answer. Maybe try and steal the Baron. You're looking for a miracle. You're looking for a steal that might allow you to stall and get a third item on your Victor and Corki. If there is some way that NIP fumble their wave shoves, fumble this Baron, then maybe you get a way back in. You need that third item. But I just don't know how easy that will be for NIP to do. They are so far ahead of the curve, but PP God has gone a little deep. Not the cleanest combo we've seen from NIP, but they still killed off Care regardless. And Leave just picks up 2 with an auto and a Q or 2. And a double tap. Follows the Zombieland rules, ensures that 2 people are dead. Shanji's teleported in. Or rather, just walk in. There is no teleport, because of course it was FPX trying to find an angle, and that's the game. It's over. Ninjas in pajamas put this game to bed. And let's be real, they didn't have to try all that hard. It was a very smooth snowball from start to finish, with the exception perhaps of that first 2 minutes where the lane swap looked a bit dicey. Well, hello guys. It is me, not Nymaera. That down there is a lie. We're on Nymaera's channel. But I'm Initialise. Go follow me at Initialise Casts. Please do. It's just me. Here. Nymaera's here in chat. And we're going to be hearing Mecha Fanboy. With all of the donations he's offered. It is fantastic. Because Mecha dropped 100 sub. 100 sub. Hot damn. Hot damn. The bomb. The bomb.
Again with just some gold content.
And the content is gold. The subs were gold. How are we all doing, chat? And again, hello, Anivia. Hello, Anivia's chat. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. Hello, YouTube. On Nymaera's channel as well. I see you, Tish. Chatting about the... what were you chatting about? Oh, of course. Where a lot of those roots for Shakespearean tragedy come from. You're absolutely correct. Indeed, from the likes of Greek myths and stuff. Those specifically from a lot of Roman tragedy stuff is where a lot of the laws on particularly a lot of the violent stuff comes from. So Senecan tragedies is where a lot of those roots come in. And then you also get a certain amount of... is it Aristotelian tragedy? It's been a while since I've studied that.
Nymaera again with just some gold content.
It says Nymaera right under the cam. Yeah, I'm BB no caster. I'm not Nymaera. I'm his older brother. I'm the OG Nymaera.
Nymaera again with just some gold content.
But there we go. Budget Nymaera. Thank you, Trinity. And as Nivea's saying, there will be highlights on his channel as well, which is fantastic news. There's just so many mecha subs. Look at this. Look at this. It's awesome. Thank you again for all of that support. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Nymaera again with just some gold content.
And predictions as well. Congratulations to those who won predictions in Twitch chat. We are going to be waiting on... Oh, sorry. Back a bit.
Again with just some gold content.
Oh! Atlas is just telling us how much gold content we're getting. Everything I do is gold content right now. I can get used to this. Remember, it's Fearless, best of 5. So those picks are just not available anymore. Goodbye.
Nymaera again with just some gold.
Will not be allowed. For this. Where did Nim go? Just joined recently. He is away for the weekend, so I am streaming by myself, but we want to keep the stream up, especially with things going on in terms of LPL kicking back off. We do want to be making sure we're covering everything. So hi, I'm here. I'm covering things. It is me, still on the channel, just holding down the fort. Hopefully we'll get a co-caster in tomorrow as well. So it won't just be me. But if we can't, it'll just be me again, which should be a great time. That's the damage. Leave did a lot of work this game. Those bullet times, be timing. But Alex will be back on stream Tuesday. I think he comes back on Monday. Will not be around until Tuesday. Oh, thank you, Alex. Get it hydrated. I will do just that. I've actually prepared myself.
Nymaera again with just some gold content.
I have been hydrated. Let's watch these highlights.
Nymaera again with just some
because the combos were sick. And Leave did not die, despite how many times people went looking for his head. And I honestly feel like if I was looking at MVPs, I would debate throwing it to PP God. Because I think PP God had a killer Leona game. It was a really good Leona game, guys. In fact, tell you what, while this is going on, let's watch the highlights without my face on him. Rather than just musing. Leave had a great Misfortune game. Doomby had a great Aurora game. But I think for me, it's still PP God. Though I can understand one of the carries getting it too. They did a good job. Also debuting an LPL podcast soon. Yes, we will. There is an LPL podcast coming, guys. We'll be doing that. Got it coming very, very shortly. We were discussing plans for that end of last week. We're looking forward. We think we've got a really good plan for it. Should be a really, really, really good time. And hopefully very digestible is the plan with that one. Plan is to make that as digestible and easy to get into as possible because there's just so much LPL. There is so much LPL and so many teams that following it can be a bit of a bloody nightmare for people who aren't doing what we're doing, which is covering every damn game. So hopefully this podcast will be a way of keeping up with things, keeping up with players who have been really cool, players who have not been so cool, and the games you really should watch so you don't have to trawl through the 30,000 series that may well be happening. Are you putting a 1,000,000 point chat command for me to use? Yeah, there's that one. That's the plan. Well, back to me. Let's see who the MVP is.
Nymaera again with
Have redeems to honor. I've drunk the. What redeems do I have to offer? What redeems do I have? Okay.
Nymaera
Fun fact: get hydrated and a compliment. Okay. Well, I've got the hydrated bit, but compliments for Grumpy. Grumpy, you have been one of the longest standing supporters of this channel. I see you in my chat, I see you in Alex's chat, I see you interacting, I see you being interested, I see you being engaged, and genuinely means the world to us. And that kind of level of support and joy for the LPL is something that brings a lot of smiles and hope to me and Alex in particular. And we always just love seeing you in chat. It is always a pleasure seeing you there. Always a pleasure seeing you even on my chat when I'm running a lot smaller streams. It's great seeing you there, and it is incredibly valued. So thank you for that. There's your compliment. I've done the hydration. And fun fact by Nymaera, by my brother.
Nymaera again with just some gold content.
We'll look at the MVP though, and thank you! Blessings from the PP god himself. 2 out of 15. What an insane Leona game. Stopped Wade getting kills on Leave in the early game by blocking out that Rel. Sick engages in the mid game that set up all those big combos. It was beautiful stuff. Turned around so many plays. We'll get the highlight reels. I can think of a fun fact while this is on in the background. That play there broke FPX. If they managed to pick up something there, it might have been different, but they lost everybody. You literally could not have asked for a better engage. Good night, Trinity. Been a pleasure. Thanks for having you in here. Thanks for coming in, Mod. Nice highlights music. Lot of swagger to that. Almost as much swagger as the man named PP God. What a game. And then, man, this play. It was already kind of over by that point, but that felt very sad. The one kill they got came at the back of an ace that cost the Matakan. It doesn't really get much worse. And this one, for once, wasn't the cleanest combo. But it didn't really matter because the damage was enough that it was still brutal. And the TP isn't quite in time to get any value. And Sheer has a bad time. There's your MVP. Hello, PP God. Back to us.
With just some gold content.
Was a kill for my son, Sheer. It's true. I see.
Nymaera again with just some gold content.
Glorious water. Needed that. Yeah, I think that's very reasonable. One for mid, I can see. Doomby also had a great game. But I think everyone else in need a universal agreement that it should have been PP God. And it should have been. Now I need a fun fact. What is a fun fact? Let's go for a literary fact. Let's go for a literary fact. One of the first novels ever written, arguably the first novel ever written, is a book called Tristram Shandy. And Tristram Shandy is a book that is effectively TikTok brain rot before TikTok brain rot was a thing. And this is back in the 17th century. And in this book, such weird things happen as a man gets himself circumcised by accidentally walking through a window funny and the window closes on him. They have a place which is just like, look, I don't want to have drawings. Don't want to have drawings. So instead of having a picture of this man's mistress so you know what they look like in the story, just draw a picture of your own mistress. Draw your own dream woman. Here's a pencil, draw your own dream woman in this book. It is a bizarre book. It is so weird. It is literally the first novel, and it was just TikTok brain rot. And so if you're asking whether we're in a new era of content, no, we're not. The medium has changed a bit, but it's all the same, guys. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
Nymaera again with just some gold content.
There's your fun fact. I was about to say, it felt like we hadn't seen Shadow in a while. Felt like we hadn't seen Shadow in a while. I did bring it up, but yes, Sorrow was playing beforehand. Shadow comes on in, and don't get me wrong, this game wasn't Shadow's fault. Things fell apart. They didn't really find the clean engages, but I think the pros, once the game started falling away from them, you don't really match like for like. they actually get a full combo on to leave, who flashes, cleanses, ghost blades away. Like, I feel like that wasn't Shadow's fault. I really do. But there we go. Right, guys, gonna run some ads. We're gonna run some ads. We'll be right back. Ads for the people that I see you, NIP Gaming. Good first game. We got NIP in chat, guys. NIP are here, saying hello. After a killer game one. I'm going to leave it on this thing to allow it to burn through Mecha's announcements of all the subs he draw. 100 subs, guys. 100 subs. But we will be right back. I'll run those ads, and we're back for game 2 very, very shortly. See you in a few, guys, as I get myself another coffee. I've got elevator music in the background as well. That's hilarious.
Nymaera again with just some gold content. Nymaera again with just some gold content. Nymaera again with just some gold content. Nymaera again with just some gold content.
我觉得 NIP 是一个非常有活力的队伍吧，就感觉有一种兄弟联盟的意思。然后我在队伍里扮演的角色，反而现在是我不用去很夸张的表现自己，只需要跟着队友做事情好。上场比赛一对放 plus 的话，我觉得他们的打法也是非常凶悍的吧，比较有血性值。然后我觉得整个游戏的胜负手也在上路曹城那一波吧。如果说哪边能拿到曹城的话，哪边就会好赢一点。我觉得我们目前整体队伍的信心都是非常高的嘛，然后可能大家的决心都是能冲得越远越好。我也一样。
Nymaera again with just some gold content. 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 Nymaera again with just some gold content.
Oh, okay, we're back. Hello.
With just some
I have coffee. I have a dream. Alrighty then. Oh wow, hello everyone. We're going into draft. Fabulous, in that case, goodbye. I see everyone on stream. And we managed to clear out the Mecha Fanboy ginormous streak. That's that one. So, here we are. Ready for game 2. NIP whacked game 1. There was some silliness. There was an easy walk in the park. There was a weird lane swap. Yes, I'm sure they'll be going like, what the hell happened here? But they managed it okay in the end, despite it looking a little dicey for Shanji at the start. And we come into game 2. Remember, this is best of 5 Fearless, which means all of those champions from game 1 are not available. And there's some key ones in there. I'm noting Aurora, I'm noting Cassante, I'm noting Leona Rel, 2 of those big engage options. The Jace as well that's been so potent off the table. But with the Galio ban from FPX, it forces a Rumble ban on the other side, because the only real counter to Rumble in lane is that Galio top side, so they get rid of it. Varus away from Leave makes sense. The Zyra as well was Aki's only real AP jungler of note. He did not have a great time on those AP junglers, but the Ashe that was banned away very early, well, it was banned away not very early in the second phase last game, gets picked up as a first pick here. They want that instigator, that champion that can start things off. And yes, it's sort of engaged, but it's also the go button. It is the start of a play, right? And that's a big deal. And the HLE game is over. Oh boy, that fast, huh? I know T1 had a fun time against Nongshim as well, but that doesn't surprise me. Those teams were a little bit scary. I appreciate you, that one in chat. We'll turn our eyes back towards draft here a little bit as well. I'll keep an eye on chat, at least to an extent here, just because it is just me and I like to have a little bit of company. But we'll be trying to keep this at least a little bit focused on the games, on the drafts, on what is happening. Nocturne, Jhin, locked in for NIP. That combo should make a lot of sense. Nocturne turns the lights on, or lights off rather. Jhin pulls the curtains up. And whoever is being dived on has a really tough time. You've got some artillery to join in the air support of the Nocturne. The turnaround, though, from FPX is saying, well, we'll take the Orianna away, so Doinby can't play that with the Nocturne, which is a very scary combo. And thinking about picking up the Wukong as well. Of course, Aki, normally the person I think of when it comes to Wukong. But Shadow still in, not been switched out. Not Sorrow playing again. Going to be looking to get a little bit of redemption for that last game. Again, the session 1 didn't really get off the ground. And it was a tough game for FPX. I don't think one player really was at fault there. But the side of NIP go, well, we see your team fight. We see your set of 3 carries, honestly. The Ashe, the Orianna, the Wukong. That's a lot of good team fight. It's a lot of good CC and zone control and burst and all those good, lovely things in a team fight. Even if you'd like someone who could frontline a little more easily, perhaps. Another ball carrier would be lovely. NIP have gone, well, you know what that Nocturne would love? Some more long-range support. So Maokai and Jhin and Nocturne all flying in at the same time can be a nightmare for FPX to manage. I see the combo that NIP are drafting for. I think they could use a dive buddy for this Nocturne. And probably a little more damage, frankly. But the combo is certainly a decent one. FPX a little bit more well-rounded, a little more versatile. You can play a lot of these champions in different ways, depending on who gets the kills. You can allow different people to drive the bus, so to speak. The bans on the other side. They're getting rid of the Braum. It is pretty obnoxious for certain numbers of the champions. Jhin hates playing into it. Nocturne doesn't have a lot of fun with it either. And the Maokai just loses because it's a melee matchup. So especially if that Maokai is thinking about going towards the support role, unlikely to go towards the jungle, because you've locked in the Nocturne, and mid-Nocturne has not been a thing for a while. They get rid of it. FPX, though, getting rid of AP mid lanes. They get rid of the Akali, which would have been a good dive combo with the Nocturne. And they get rid of the Sylas. They've already got some big ults to steal, and theoretically allows them to lock in some champions that Sylas might otherwise have gotten a lot of value from, particularly as an R5 counter pick. That Luke Skywalker pick. Red 5 is standing by for them to try and bring balance to the Force and the draft alike. But FPX got a support to pick up. Got a top laner to pick up most likely here as well. The Renata to manage some of the dive. It is theoretically really good into that Rakan, that Nocturne. Can try and just throw down the ultimate and deal with the attempted dive. Is Mel active? Upper? No, they are not. That's a good question, though. Doinby bring out the Nocturne mid randomly would be kind of hype, though. I could see him doing it. It is Doinby. That's the reason I'm saying there is that option for that Maokai to go the jungle still. Sheer opting into the Udyr. We're seeing a bit of it at the minute. You do get shoved. I think with some of the item changes as well, like Fimbulwinter in particular, has made Udyr a lot more viable again. But wait! Doinby Rice hack 450 CS a minute? Is it happening? The Rice hack is in. Welcome to the Matrix. It's game 2. We're reloaded. That was Matrix 3. Never mind. I've chosen the wrong one. No, is that Revolutions? I forget. The Matrix movie's order. My meme has fallen apart, but it's still doing me on the infamous rise. For a man who was allegedly unable to lane, the Rise was always a champion where he was able to somehow like acquire CS via teleportation, via hacks, via banking interest. I do not know. But what you can do with it as well, between that and the Rakan and the Nocturne, is have the Rise ult turn up with the Nocturne ult, with the Maokai ult. And you can just turn up out of nowhere with all of this long-range fire support with a Jhin and a Maokai and a Nocturne and make the side lanes, make the players' mid-rotations really, really suffer. For the side of FPX, I think for all people back home hoping for something more out of them, they need to be really good on the defensive trigger pull. And you do have counter punches this game. You do have so many tools to punish the engage, the Renata, the Wukong, the Shockwave. You've got tools there to try and make this really tricky if Ninjas in Pajamas pull the trigger wrong. But last game, it felt like every time NIP pulled the trigger, it wasn't even close. The Rift's coming up shortly. There's our team logos. Can FPX make this a series? It will just be NIP putting another nail in a very swiftly constructed coffin. Found the words. Onto the Rift. Let's listen to the crowd. NIP fans out in force. It is their home arena, reminder. This is Shenzhen and NIP have that arena there. Really cool that you actually do have some teams who have their own arenas, guys. Own arena. That's just damn cool. When teams have home grounds. Tried before in esports, not all that successful. It feels like the only place it's ever really taken off, at least even vaguely, has been here in the LPL. And that is so awesome to see. Will be, of course, the Maokai top. With the Rakan locked in as well. We said there was still some flex, but that'll be into the Udyr. Realistically, it's Udyr into a tank. It's Udyr early. We'll have the shove. Shanji will be asked to play weak side and allow other members of his team to carry. Also note as well, just with the way we've seen Jins pop off a little bit recently, it does feel like when you're building a lot of HP and not loads and loads and loads of armor, Jin that hits 2 items, 3 items on track becomes a bit of a legitimate threat himself. It's not as raw utility as he once was. And you've got a lot of setup for the W's, for the R's. And Shanji starts the level 1 with the W, forces to flash out of Care. As a twisted advance forces Care to retreat, which is a little ironic, but there we go. Flash on out, and Care was attacked very aggressively last game. Reminder, 2 kills onto the Aurora very early on, set the pace of the game. And a flash blown from just the Maokai roaming down 30 seconds after minions have spawned is tough. And this is a different look at the lane swap. This is the mid laner and the top laner playing out in the mid lane to get some advantages there. Aki splitting the map. Will go towards the Gromp, having taken Raptors himself to get that level 2. Comes on in, throws out the Duskbringer to start up that second camp. And Jhin proxy farming away. Interesting to note that we're going to see the fact that PP God will be going off to support off Shanji down here. And Udyr did get to the wave. One of the other things, of course, is Udyr is pretty good in a lane swap scenario because he can just throw out a Wingborne Storm. You can't really stop that, and that's a fairly good way of getting some experience, getting some decent chunks down in terms of wave control. PP God, though, has got the sweeper, spots out where people are, and won't get picked off for stepping too far forwards. Shanji's still here. What did he go for the level 2? I didn't see. Was it the sapling? Or was it the Q? Trying to get to level 3 here. This could get interesting. Here comes Leave as well. He's just thought they've reset. Oh, no, no, no. Joy has to heal as well. Flash down, heal down. Shadow's still around, though. And, of course, Shanji will have the teleport. So can probably get to pick up this wave because Sheer doesn't shove it all that fast. Eyes on Shadow, though, on a Wukong. Could have maybe looked to wrap behind there. Doesn't want to overplay his hand, though. Instead, we'll just look to reset here, not get that much off that one. We pull away. And is this Nymaera's brother? Yes, it is. I'm Initialise. I cast with Nymaera on a regular basis. If you're on this stream watching these LPL games, I saw production there, messing with Shanji's farm. Shocking. Shocking. But yes, if you're on this channel, if you're watching these games, it will likely be me and Nymaera playing Flash from PP God for the grand entrance. Bat flashes in response. But now no flashes in bot lane into a Rakan Jhin. Could get a little bit dicey there without the mobility to avoid some of those CC chains. I think with the Cull, the damage probably isn't going to be lethal anytime soon. It's a heal on the Rakan as well, not an ignite. So not necessarily the all-in combos. Could still get a little bit obnoxious not having those summons, especially if Aki gets to level 6 on a decent clip. Should be getting to that probably off another full clear or so. See, nearly at the level 6 mark, halfway through level 5. Well, 20% of the way through level 5. So we'll reset. Can look to play around either the grubs or the dragon that will be spawning in short order. Can go on from there. And yeah, a little bit of a plug towards the channel. For those of you who don't know, there is no official LPL English cast this year. It is just co-streamers. It's just us. It's DoMB. It's just him in the mid lane. He stepped forwards. We'll throw an overload and a rune prison. And EQs his way out to safety. Did have the flash there with the phase rush though. So down the summoner. And Care gets a little bit of vengeance by having some of his teammates coming on in. And IP, game one. And in this best of 5 as well. We are into our first best of 5 of the year here for the LPL. Means we'll be first to 3 for those who are not LPL or League of Legends enjoyers. And FPX did not have a great time of it in game 1. I think it's fair to say they got taken to school. And the old masters of DoMB and his crew whacked FPX, even if perhaps the likes of Shanji, Aki, Leave, and less so PP God have been a little newer to the professor status. But, you know, they're under head teacher DoMB. He knows what he's doing. He'll get his fellow teachers up to snuff in short order. But FPX on the other side, bit of a weird year for them. They had Milky Way last year, who was on loan from RNG's academy team, where he'd made a huge name for himself. Someone I have been shouting from the heavens for all of 2023, saying this guy has really, really got it. And he has to leave the team. He's got back on RNG. FPX kind of having a rebuild. They've got Sheer. And maybe an angle on in here, actually, as the paranoia has popped. And FPX, part of the reason I was having this conversation was it's a team with some players who were bargains, shall we say. Good players on teams that weren't always that strong. And players coming up from LDL. And they're just going to keep diving. NIP are not giving FPX a second second to rest. That's the term I'm looking for. Shadow will clone out briefly. Shanji W's away from the turret aggro, and they can't quite claim the Wukong as well. But NIP pick up 2 kills. They pick up a load of summoners. And Bat coming up from LDL. Sheer, who was supposed to be this top lane prodigy, was splitting time with Flandre. There we go. Who is having a phenomenal year this year. And people go, well, why is Flandre playing? Why isn't it Sheer? This guy is so good. Can lane so well. Why isn't he getting time in playoffs? Why isn't he getting time on the Rift? What's going on? And now he's on FPX, and the questions still remain. What's happening with this player? How good can he be? And FPX still got a bit of growing to do, as NIP have come out of the gates swinging this year. The Nocturne level 6 comes on through. They got the Rise ult to dive the turret. More members turn up. The disengage isn't quite there, and FPX haven't really been able to counterpunch the NIP side lane plays, the NIP engages from last game either. It gets trickier and trickier. And now NIP find themselves with the early leads. Sheer, up a bit of gold here on the Udyr, but hey, you're Udyr into Maokai. Kind of is what it is. The problem is elsewhere. You got 2 kills on this Nocturne. Hoo boy. Alongside, Arise has gotten involved. A Jhin that's ahead of Bat, who lost a wave because of that play as well. And a Jin's got a Cull as well. Will be scaling. You've got the Catalyst. That's the name of that item in DoMB's inventory as well. So alongside a tier, NIP getting ahead of the scaling curve for what is going to be a very heavily mid-game spiking comp once the row is complete, once the Seraph's complete, once you... I mean, it might be a Fimbulwinter. Rise can do that one as well. Certainly been something he's looked to in the past. Once the Jhin cashes in this cull, FPX is going to start realizing that some of those early investments that NIP have got will pay off. Shadow, when looking for this invade, got the red buff. There is the Paranoia. Flash away from Shadow. Shanji's thrown down. Nature's Grasp. Aki popped the Paranoia but didn't go deeper. But Doombee's donated the kill. The invade doesn't work. And it feels like FPX, when they're making these plays, when they are trying to be proactive, are being read like an open book. And NIP are just toying with them on the response. The response has always been better for NIP. And when NIP are the one asking for FPX to make a response, are making the plays, FPX haven't been able to. And it means we aren't seeing cross-maps. We aren't seeing successful plays from FPX either on the offensive or defensive side. Shadow gets this play. He had Sheer come in with the wave shove as well. Gets over the wall. And Aki used the Paranoia to get on in. Has to flash on out of the Unspeakable Horror. What a great ability name. And Sheer body... Oh, Sheer doesn't properly body block it. And as a result, the roots tangle up the Wukong and a slight fumble leads to Aki dying. No, Aki dying, sorry. Shadow dying and Doombee picking up a kill. Oh dear. I think it's fair to say, oh dear. At least they got a set of grubs to FPX, but that's not what you want to see. Still within a playable distance, right? It's only 1,000 gold. Martial Mastery is secure for NIP. They only need to get a turret or another couple sets of objectives, and they can be in a great spot. Grubs have spawned. Shadow not quite with the ultimate available, but everyone else will likely have theirs up. Aki with the Hex Plate first. Will have the Paranoia available. Is definitely asking to be the instigator this game. The initiator this game, or an initiator this game. We're wanting to use that cooldown as often as it is available. One grub down. That's 4. How aggressively do NIP want to play this? They've got Aki and Sheer on opposite angles. Teleport coming on in. Doombee now here. Sheer looking to respond as well. 5v5 being set up for Leave on a pretty good angle to look for the curtain call. There's the Paranoia. Aki yet to go on in. Wukong uses the Cyclone. Aki into the backline. Bat flashes away. The curtains are called. And Jhin begins to start off that third act. Aki likely going to fall down to Sheer. Their health bars on the other side mean that the junglers have been traded. Though as Dwayne goes into a bailout. But there just isn't enough gold to save that particular investment banker. Care forced to run away from Doombee, who is throwing some overloads into the backline. Sheer just about alive. And the shockwave disengaged Doombee. The solo laner survived from FPX, but everyone else falls. Aki dies, so it means it's not the easiest moment to look at these grubs. And it's early enough into the game that the resets mean starting the grubs could be tricky. So NIP say, look, we got the kills. Doombee got 2 of them, no less, on this rise. Let's back off, reset, look to go again. All right, let's have a look at this, because NIP... we're kind of waiting to fake their moment. The Paranoia comes down. They hold for a long time. And Shanji actually uses the darkness to go forwards and force the Cyclone. And then Aki goes forwards. Force a load of the flashes. And then, yes, Aki gets caught down. But Shadow on those grubs on the side. Doombee gets to run it down. And the health bars are so damn low. The Realm Warp in allows Doombee to Q Flash. And pick up the Ashe as well. Of course, we already saw that Renata died in the bailout. And Sheer does manage to run away. It's quick enough with a bull and a turtle to his name to survive the attempt on his life that left him greatly scarred. But unfortunately, FPX don't form a new empire here. NIP still holding on in this game. That's now 6-1 in the kills. They turn back up to FPX at least and pick up all the grubs. So they do have 6 grubs. And when you're running with an Udyr, good news. An Unending Despair completed for the Udyr. Add in the Fimbulwinter after, and that is a very, very scary combo for this Udyr. Those 2 items are bread and butter for a number of champions, but Udyr uses them super, super, super well. Super. That's like 3 of them. Did I use 4? I used a lot of supers. But Doombee there, some of his stats coming on up. For those of you who know Mandarin, you can see he's playing quite well this game. 116 CS. He's actually behind in CS. The Rise hack not in fruition. Doombee showing some mercy to FPX, clearly. FPX, an odd team. in many ways. We've had that conversation. The likes of Dway Care playing a little bit longer. Sheer, a player who was expected to be the next great thing, to be the starter over Flandre. And people were asking why Flandre was playing. Why is he the one getting time? And, of course, this year comes in and Flandre's having a great time of it. And Sheer on FPX on a team that is quite raw. Quite... I don't know how to put it quite. Perhaps still finding their feet is the way I'd like to say it. With players that, you know, the likes of Care, the likes of Sheer, you got, I see how good you can be. Bat, who's coming up from the LDL, who was pretty solid down there, but I don't know whether he's LPL ready. And they're trying to play that one out from this one. And going up against NIP, who have come in and hit the ground so running, is a very difficult task for the best of teams. And I'm not sure whether FPX are quite ready for this early in the year. They can try, and I'd love to be proved wrong. I want to see a series on our hands, and they're going to need to make sure that happens at the next objective fight or so, because they are beginning to fall behind again. Yes, they've got the 6 scrubs, but the gold leads, the kills, have not been theirs to run with. Another objective, a tower going down, will cost them. Will cost them those feats of strength. And yes, they're not necessarily an improved win rate, so to speak, compared to previous seasons. What they have done, though, is just be a marker of that a team is already ahead. And here's a TP behind. Oh, FPX, this is going to be scary. Cyclone comes on down, but that's part 1. Deadly flourish in the curtain callers there, and Shanji with the roots from the other side. The arrow lands onto 2MB. The turnaround is pretty good, but this is still a very tanky rise. But the hostile takeover and the counter engage finally works. Finally works. FPX have been asking for this combo the entire time. Bat lands an arrow. The hostile takeover comes in. And 2MB's rise on the 3-1-on-1 goes down. Will come at the cost of the mid lane turret. But hey, FPX get first turret in the top side. And actually, no wave means NIP gonna have to wait a second or two to clear this one out. And how aggressively do FPX want to trade with that? But a good moment. And we're asking, can FPX punch back when they need to? The answer, apparently this time, is yes. TP in again, though. They want to just do this all over again. Rice doesn't have a realm warp. But 2MB being here, will look to come and play with Shanji to get these waves shoved. Herald has spawned. PP God pulled out of his grand entrance. There's Aki with the paranoia. Nice handshake from Dre. Yes, the flash and heal are down, but you don't pick up the kill. And those are some big moments. The paranoia in particular is a huge ultimate to be using without getting the kill. Might get them the Herald, though, and NIP may well be happy enough with that. And that would be the third objective. And feats of strength for NIP. Care, though, saying, fine, I'll just get a tier 2 down here with my 6 scrubs. And Clockwork wind up on an Orianna makes her a better tower taker than a lot of mages might be. Even if she's not always the safest in a side lane, doesn't have an immediate dash, needs to use her QW, that command dissonance, to speed herself up. But if you're using that on yourself and not on an enemy, you're not really getting a lot of your damage curve. Let's have a look at this replay. Because FPX look for this turret, and NIP with the wall behind look to punish. Still, they got a 3v3. Shadow clones away, and the Cyclone interrupts the grand entrance in the quickness. The handshake out prevents PP God getting onto anyone valuable. And Shanji goes on in. Bat lands the arrow. And then the hostile takeover with the Cyclone means that this Rise falls. Does not get to play the game. That's a huge shutdown that the Wukong picks up, and that's really important when you are being asked to be a lot of the counter-engaged threat with the Cyclone. Having you Wukong be dangerous is fantastic, and for me, and I know Jamar and a number of other players and junglers, players and analysts out there kind of agree that Wukong is just one of the best junglers on the patch, possibly the best jungler on the patch, purely off his versatility. He scales way. He offers CC. He engages. He is great with gold because he loves a couple of those items. That's a good start for Shadow, who again, starting for the first time here for FPX. A player who has been playing for a lot longer but hasn't been a starter for a while. Donated a big shutdown. Punish and NIP brings the goal back to close enough to even that this dragon fight should be intriguing to say the least. Rise splitting. Aki pushing in the mid lane as well, of course, can join a little bit easier with the paranoia. Would be so point for NIP, but they're not forced to fight this if they'd rather play for the structures. Paranoia now down. PP God with the quickness. The curtains are called and the artillery is summoned, but Shadow says absolutely none of that. Nimbus strike Warrior Trickster, Cyclone, down goes the Jin. Yes, they get one back, but it's already 2 for 1. NIP in danger as Shanji falls well as Bat. Rangers focus his way down, and Sheer over the wall, running at Doumbé, showing that yes, you might be the old god, but I am as new and prodigious as they come. FPX with a 4 for 1 team fight. They get the dragon, they get the gold lead, and FPX are finally in this series. Welcome to the LPL once again, Shadow. Welcome to this series, Fun Plus Phoenix. Finally having some fun. Let's have a look at the replay. I'm sure we'll get it in a second because that play got very split. NIP tried to play for both the turrets and then the collapse. It did not work, and I'm hoping with the replay we can see how, because Shadow shuts down the curtain call. Aki goes in, and yes, you get the shockwave, but importantly, Care's about to go 1 for 1. So we're going to start in the mid lane as Leave gets caught. We didn't see that off screen, and that was something we saw before that play. Here's a look at this replay, and that's when Leave on the other side gets jumped on. Doumbé tries to join with the Realm Warp, but it's too late to say Leave. The hostile takeover is solid. Aki dives Care, yes, but that's a 1 for 1. And you've lost so much of your damage, and Bat staying alive, getting to free fire is huge, and Doumbé isn't in a position to throw down Overload over after Overload. And we said, look, the comp from NIP is very reliant on all of the pieces hitting in tandem. The coordination does need to be good, and the counter-engage tools are pretty solid from FPX, and this time it worked out. There's the team fight damage. Sheer on this Udyr, actually this point in the game is a significant damage to himself, has got the Fimbulwinter now, has got the Unending Despair, and your Wukong's off to the races. Bat gets a kill. Your Orianna with a Blackfire Torch build here, interestingly, as well, going for that burn to be as consistent DPS as possible. So honestly, some of that HP as well into some of the likes of this Nocturne diving you, pretty valuable for staying alive. Still, game's not done. Mikhail's picked up from Dway, and we are now in a position, of course, where NIP find themselves in a slightly more precarious position. Doumbé, Seraph's complete, and Roa fully stacked, is now at Rise's point of power, shall we say. Can be a real side lane menace, and NIP's ability to play the side lane very wide with the Realm Warps, with the Paranoias, with the teleports, of course, as well, and then the fact that Curtain Call and Nature's Grasp are semi-global is very, very strong. And if you can make those picks happen, FPX needs to be very swift in defending the dive target. However, NIP, as we've seen, have fumbled a side lane play, have just fumbled an objective play. It can get tricky. Aki with the Sterak's Nest is going for a tankier frontline build. The Instigator build, big PP gold knock-up, and the split play happens. Shadow split, still gets quite a lot of damage. The hostile takeover is decent, but the Realm Warp out! Oh, Doumbé finds a moment, flash on him from Shanji, the curtains are called, and Doumbé pulls the rug with everybody else riding on top of it out from under FPX's feet. Atakard is up. That was spectacular, and Sheer faces that old school Pokemon move. It is sheer cold. He is one hit KO and down for the count. NIP pick up Atakard. Phenomenal hostile takeover that is denied by an even better Realm Warp. The angle looked superb. It just doesn't work. Oh my bay. Oh my days. My bay in this one is Doumbé. Let's have a look again. Because Care steps forward and gets jumped. We talked about it. This is what NIP do. They pounce on people so fast from so far away, and the Orianna dies. But Shadow does a decent job. You think, oh, hang on, NIP have gone really far away. PP God gets CC'd, but the Realm Warp takes them all to safety. They're all out, and FPX have burned the whole combo to make it happen. And Bat just TP's in, or flashes on in, gets massively knocked up, and suddenly the Jin's got a curtain call angle. You've lost so much of your tools. It's superb. It is superb. You rarely see mid-fight Realm Warps. It's so easy to interrupt a Realm Warp. It doesn't happen. they get more kills. They get the Atacon, and NIP right back in command of the game when FPX looked like they just might have done what it took to take NIP into a really tricky position in the game. But no, Atacon, the turret's now falling mid and bot. FPX, though, with the 6 scrubs, can look to trade back on out. So we sold point for NIP, but of course they were denied that one beforehand, so it's not Soul itself. Care, hit with the Maokai ultimate. Nature's Grasp came along. Sapling's beginning to fly on in as well. The teleport's now here. Doomby with a flash. Could be really obnoxious. Shockwave comes onto 2, but the follow-up from the Jin into a Realm Warp to keep chasing! How far are they going? They're trying to catch up Shadow, who will get out to safety himself and be alright. NIP pick up a dragon. They pick up the kill. And Doomby just knows the distances on this champion so well. Aki goes on in. The curtains are called. PP God comes across. And FPX begin to get pulled apart at the seams. They've lost the turrets and the map gets darker. It gets wider. And that is when your Nocturnes and your Rises and your Jins become so deadly in a composition like this. Nowhere is safe. Any transition, any rotation, any journey through the jungle can turn into an ambush in a second. The night is dark and full of Nocturnes. And it is a survival horror game, suddenly. And FPX currently are not playing the game that well. The change in genre has caught them out a little bit. Okay. So, game state. Back in NIP's favor. Soul point, 3,000 gold lead, turrets falling. Pretty good news. However, FPX have at least got to 2 items on a decent clip. If they can play around a Baron while they all have 2 items and NIP have yet to complete 3rd, they are still going to be really dangerous in a 5v5. I think if they give NIP a little bit too long here and they get to 3 items, this gets tricky. And I think FPX know it. They're saying, look, we're going to set up around this Baron, force you to play us in the 5v5 where your composition is trickier to execute, where your combo can be countered a little bit more freely with our own anti-dive options. That might be the play here. Maybe, just maybe, they can play around that. Care with the teleport, can join around the Baron, but NIP take the opportunity now that some of the resets have to come on through from FPX to clear all the vision that FPX spent so long putting down and get control of it themselves. And remember, they've got the Maokai. They've got uncounterable vision by virtue of being able to press E on Maokai. Saplings are so annoying. And when you've got your Maokai, when you've got your Nocturne, when you've got your Rise, your Jin, you can just do this, should you so choose. Aki, though, has gone pretty deep. The hostile takeover comes across 1. And Shanji now pretty damn deep, but Doomby is here. And the curtains are called. Shadow will be tunked a little bit, but the curtain call just to dissuade is what it will be. And that's triple ultimates and a flash. Yes, of course, Care and Shadow had to flash themselves. So in the end, ends up just being a trade of summoners and ultimates without really getting huge distinct advantage, I think. Though, of course, Care no flash, dangerous, is now more of a target. Got the replay, it's Care in rotation. It's Care in rotation. We said that might be the price. The turrets have gone down. You are not safe in your own jungle anymore. It is very, very, very scary. They get out alive, cost them some summoners, but this is what's going to happen when NIP play the map wider and FPX are forced to come and respond. You being split up is more of a risk than it is for NIP, and FunPlus Phoenix going to be asked to make some very difficult map rotations, some map calls on short order, and it feels like NIP have been calling them out on it multiple times. They fumbled the once, maybe the twice. We'll count the Dragon fight as well. But outside of that, it has felt like NIP have been more in control of the map, more able to manage FPX, who just haven't been quite sharp enough to punish. Ah, Bisto. Coffee is wonderful, guys. We've got ourselves a minute until Dragon, so I thought I had a moment there. Especially as it's just me casting. I need to save my voice. It might only be the 3 games, in which case we're kind of okay. Okay. You know, I was saying about those 2 item spikes versus the 3. Yeah, the 3rd items have just come on through. Mortal Reminders in. Rise has picked up a full Zhonya's and a Blighting Jewel. So Doomby is really strong because Blighting Jewel is a hell of a component. It is a hell of a component. This Rise is a absolute behemoth in a fight right now. Okay. Okay. So. Bat. He has been on Thunder Talk's Academy team for a while, and then got replaced, of course, because 1xN came in. 1xN came in and took his place. He had been the TT Young Academy player since 2021. And then gets overshadowed by 1xN, who is a player alongside Milky Way, who I was absolutely in love with. NIP on Infernal Soul. FPX with the likes of Bat asked to come and contest, and we started story time because FPX could not contest. The arrow comes on through, and that's nice. It interrupts the curtain call, but you've lost Infernal Soul. Baron's up, and NIP, again, this is their game to lose. And when you've got young players like Bat who, yes, have been playing for a while, but have not been given the chance to stand up to LPL level, versus the likes of your Doombies, who have been world champions, and your journeymans who have really had time in LPL to prove they are worth being here. Your Shanjis, your PP gods, even your Akis and the like as well, might not have had the best year, but have got that experience. It is a tough call for FPX, who are full of such young players or players who are inexperienced at this level, to deal with plays like this. The Realm Warp not taken for once as FPX pull off the Baron. Now Aki on the flank could be scary. Shadow looks for a play, but the knock-up is brutal, and Rise absolutely unloads, overloads, come on Iv, EQ, 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 and it's looking like a magnificent audio soundwave, courtesy of Rise. He is an audio engineer at heart, and you know what it sounds like? An absolute flatline. It is a single long beep to signify the death of FPX. Man, they had a moment in this game. They really did. It looked like they might have been able to drag it back. And then NIP with some absolutely clutch team fights, with some wonderful picks, say it was just a blip on the radar. So have a look at the replay. And you can see it, right? FPX pull off, see where the realm was coming in, or aware of it. And Shanji takes that moment to go on forward, but it's shit. Shouldn't be that scary. And then Shadow thinks, well, we've got to go now or never. I see the engage. It is a decent shockwave combo, but the damage isn't quite enough. That's not a burst Orianna. Leave doesn't die. PP God heals. And then for once, it is NIP who are on the response, who get to put the counter engage in, get to pull the targets. Now Aki pulls the paranoia. There is nowhere for Joy to run. There is nowhere for Care to run. I don't think he has any more cares left in this world at that point. Difficult, difficult, difficult. And FPX, I have hope for some of these team players. I have some hope for this team come spring. This wasn't an easy draw. They've got a lot to learn, yeah, and it was always going to be tough in winter when you have gotten 2 weeks and then a holiday to try and get ready for this kind of best of 5. They made it to playoffs, and congratulations to them. But NIP are on a different level, I think it is fair to say, and there will be moments for these players, I have no doubt. I don't think it will be today. It will certainly not be this game. Oh, my days. Trying to curve the bullet, holding the curtain call, trying to ensure that Dwayne and stuff can't get on over. The Nature's Grasp comes on through, and Dwayne hit with the roots, but it's just pulled FPX off the towers. Those zone control tools have forced them to cede the front lines, leave the trenches, as the mortar strikes come on through, and it comes at the cost of the inhibitors. With Baron on as well, inhibitor falls in mid, in bot, and the game is over. And in the immortal words of one Archeron, looks like FPX are on the verge of being promoted to viewers. They have been well and truly schooled by NIP so far this game, and it's great for NIP, this team that, despite bringing Doomby back, there were some doubts, some concerns, some naysaying, which I think probably had some validity. That basically said, look, Doomby coming back, it's hype, but it's branding. He's not been playing pro for a couple years. He's been a streamer. How many times have we seen pros leave to become streamers, come back, and let's be real, look washed. Shanji and Aki, the hype 2023 OMG duo alongside Cream, that top side that was so cool, so interesting, looked so threatening, and flopped last year. I oversell it a little bit, but they were underwhelming. They were not top tier in so many ways. Did not deliver in the way that people hoped of them. And there were high expectations. A Shockwave combo comes on in, and that gets leave. A last gas from FPX. The bailout's not bad, but now FPX on the backline as Bat is forced to run away as Aki deletes the AD carry. They've gotten rid of the bot lane, though. The problem is this Ryze is so annoying, and Shanji just runs at them with Aki. Maybe Sheer can bring down DoomB. The Ryze hack cannot stay alive, and NIP, I was about to start praising them. And FPX pull the trigger and hold on just enough to bring it to a 3-for-3, but you're behind, right? And even trading kills is about as good as it gets. Sheer doing his best to run at Shanji, who actually doesn't care at this point. That's hilarious. He's just so tanky. But you've lost all 3 inhibitors nonetheless. You can't end the game right here, but what have you done? I feel like you're on palliative care, FPX. This is end-of-life stuff. It's not a cure. It is a last gasp that is giving you one more roll of the dice, but you are preying on a miracle. Shadow finds the flash, Nimbus strike to get on to leave with the shockwave. It's on to 1, but it is the AD carry. The hostile takeover afterwards ensures that PP God falls, and Aki goes on in, yes, kills off Bat. If Bat had stayed alive, maybe this play looks different. But on the other side, there is enough threat on DoomB to force the Seraph, force the Zhonya's, force him down. And Sheer on this Udyr is still enough of a threat, even on the Udyr, to get the 892 gold shutdown. That's valuable. The problem is, Elder's spawning, and you have to leave your base now. The shockwave is decent, but Leave has flash this time. Gets to flash this time. And it was, in the end, a last twist. A last twitch of the corpse as the electricity was pumped through their veins, and galvanization doesn't bring you back to life. This ain't Frankenstein. And unfortunately for them, the Phoenix will not be showing a revival in this game too. They are truly dead in this one. And NIP finally put that nail in the coffin, bury game 2, and FPX with it. Aki flashes to ensure there's not even a reset allowed for Sheer. They're holding to try and get a little bit of an extra kill. They won't allow it. NIP, it's a different draft. It asks for side lane play. It asks for picks. And that man on your screen comes back having been a streamer, a content creator, with players that have not lived up to what they expected and are looking like one of the best teams in the league. Thanks for the follows, guys. And please do drop a follow on YouTube, on Twitch. Throw me a follow as well. I'm an Initialise Casts on Twitch, on YouTube, on all those other socials as well. We really appreciate it. It helps us get out to you with more of this content, which will be really, really, really fun. That was pretty damn cool. I am going to be remembering that Ryze ult for many, many years. It was cool as fuck. It was just cool, guys. It really was. It's so cool. DoomB faked his ult for the bluff. Yeah, absolutely. And remember, NIP had multiple tools to go forwards. You had the Rakan. You had the Ryze. Oh boy. You had the Jhin, even. If he starts pulling the curtain call, that's kind of a startup tool in its own right. You've got the Maokai, for God's sake. That's an incredible tool from a flank with a teleport. You know, every champion has ways of starting that play. The Nocturne as well. So if one person uses an ult and forces people into a difficult position on the retreat, then you can look to use it afterwards. And NIP had to be quite... The term I'm going to use is judicious. Judicious. And this is over in Onivia's chat for those who are wondering who I'm talking to. It's Fierce Soda over there. Where if everyone in NIP pulled their triggers unwisely, unjudiciously, and you dive into the Wukong, who shockwaves you all with the ball on top of him, and then the hostile takeover comes in and suddenly there's an arrow and you go, oh no. And it is not pretty. It is not. If that happens, yeah, it's not a good time. Not a good time. But if you can go in put the paranoia down, force people to back away from easy battle, then throw the Maokai on, then you get Wukong to clone awkwardly, maybe force an engage himself, and then you go in yourself, you can still play out that combo super well. I know when NIP let Rookie go, there was this assumption that the team was going to be low in the league. Then Doom steps up, and damn, does NIP look strong. It's the reason why one of my, if not favorite teams in the LPL. Yeah, Qatari, I see it, right? Because I think there are a lot of players in here who've shown promise in years past and then didn't deliver, and people go, well, it's just going to be mid-table, isn't it? And if Doomby's decent, great. But let's be real, is he going to be the best mid laner in the league? Unlikely. But it is big name branding. That's great for NIP. It gives them some options. And, you know, if some of these players turn up, they can be decent. They've not just been decent, they've been legitimately good. In some ways, they've been legitimately great. I cannot wait to see these teams against your top esports, your JDGs, your BLGs, those kind of teams who have been looking really, really good. That damage isn't awful from the side of FPX. Those are rise numbers, folks. That is some overload damage. That is some overload damage. Spell Flux and Overload do quite a lot when Doomby just gets to go through the rotations. Hope. Boring match, says Superman. I know what you mean. It wasn't that competitive, right, for parts of it. I think there was a moment where FPX came back, but what I will say is what we'll look at, you have to look at this match a different way, because I think what you do then is you look at NIP and you look at how well they are playing the game, and you take some joy in that, and you go, wow, this team is really turning up. Let's turn over the highlights. You have to talk about how NIP play a different composition and execute it really, really well. And yes, FPX managed to pull like 2 counter punches. It was actually a good dragon fight. We saw a decent play top side as well. But I think there is a different caliber of team. But then the goalpost shift. What you want out of the match shifts. It is, okay, how cleanly can NIP play? And how convincingly can they play these different compositions in a Fearless? And we've seen a team fight comp into a split the map, play pick, play ranged jungle warfare, guerrilla warfare style gameplay, honestly. With everyone catching people out in rotations, catching people out in side lanes, picking your moments to engage. This is quite a hard comp to execute in some ways from FPX, however obnoxious it can be if it's played well. And then you start to have to look at it in a different way, sorry, from NIP. And once you reframe it, I think this is still a really cool game to watch. So I personally didn't find it that boring, but that's because it wasn't a low level of gameplay. It was actually NIP playing the game really, really well. Really, really well. And Veerstone is acting a little bit like Uzi when it came to Doomby. Yes, that's not a bad idea. Like, Uzi came back and he wasn't awful, right? But was he Uzi? No, not really. Let's be real. Not that Uzi in regular season was ever as great as people thought he was. I think back when Uzi was at the true heights of his powers, he was decent in the regular season, then turned up in playoffs, and then he became a pressure match superstar. One of the most clutch players of all time, and he was always good in the regular season. But you look back to say like 15, when Name was supposed to be the replacement for Uzi, right, in EDG, who was better in the regular season. Uzi was on RNG and was fine, but was maybe not at that level, and Name was the next great thing, and you go, oh, what happens? And in the end, it is Uzi who was the one with the better legacy, who had the better set of accolades, but when he came back, it wasn't that exciting, right? He joined the team and was, unfortunately, for the side of BLG, not what they were hoping for. And then actually, ironically, the year he leaves is the year that BLG, I didn't see that shot coming through. Oh, no. Nice shot. Nice shot. But yeah, the year that Uzi leaves, the year that BLG become the monsters that we know and love. That team was supposed to be mediocre, BLG. Supposed to be a nothing team. And somehow, they were absolutely, unbelievably ridiculous. Yeah, but never won Worlds. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And I think that will be a crying shame. I think Uzi was capable of it. Some of the teams he were on was capable of it, but he ran into some difficult stuff. Mr. Watts, I love PP God so much. Hell yes. For people who don't know Mr. Watts, he's an old school LDL enjoyer. When I started co-streaming LDL back in 23, one of the viewers I had down there has been a long time fan of a number of these players. He'll know the likes of Bat. Who's our MVP? I suspect we know. Oh yes. Oh yes. Unbelievable Rise game. Oh, sheer signs of life. I agree. Sheer signs of good signs of life. PP God and Crack, my forever goats. Hell yes. Hell yes. We have a player called Crack, which is just very funny because he played a little bit like PP God, so he was a bit psycho. So we say he's on Crack. You had to clarify. What a great time. This was that initial dive with the Realm Warp to follow up, having had the Nocturne come on through. And then this was the one where Shadow was trying to buy space in the backline. Doomby wrecks him. Realm Warp to keep going. And honestly, Doomby's mid-fight Realm Warps to disengage, to keep plays going, were so heads up. This is a player who knows how he wants to play the map so well. But this was the play where I was in awe. This Realm Warp broke FPX. They did not have wings to fly anymore. This was a flightless dodo of a Phoenix. The moment that Realm Warp to disengage came on through, and Bat flashes forward because he's caught on the wrong side, has to try and just all in to get something, and gets wrecked. Wrecked, I tell you. Shadow gets the shockwave combo. Doomby flashes away. Overloads. Spell fluxes. And he just throws spell after spell after spell. The Seraphs are still there. Rise is your battle mage. And I'm just saying, if Rise is back in meta, there's a few players out in the LCK who are rubbing their hands. Your BDDs, your Fakers, your Chovies of the world have always been exceptional Rises. It's been a little while since it's been meta. If you can start doing this kind of thing, you can find combos like this, particularly in Fearless. I think we might be seeing a bit more of Rise. And Doomby having these options in the back pocket to set up drafts like this is so potent in Fearless, because there aren't as many comps where Rise works. This is a draft where it does. If you can prove that you have Nocturne Rise combos, Nocturne Ori combos, Rise combos in general, you offer yourself so much more flexibility in a Fearless draft, because you have champions that are not fair weather, don't work in every draft. Your Cassantes and Rumbles of the world, right? They work whatever the comp is, right? They're just great champions. They win you games by virtue of being really damn good. Interesting, we saw a top lane vote. Shanji had a decent game on the Maokai, don't get me wrong. But that's that. But to follow this up a little bit before we keep going. The fact that you can in Fearless say, I have got a niche draft that is not going to get banned away and can get us a win because it is cohesive and we know how to play it, and it is a strong draft, even if the champions by themselves in isolation are strong but are as a unit, then you have power in Fearless either early on or late in, where all of these important champions are down and people are struggling to put together cohesive drafts. You pull out something like this and you have a draft that still works, where everyone else is like pulling together really awkward compositions. Very, very potent. Very, very potent. And I think NIP with a player like Doomby, with drafts like this could be really good fun. This could be really good fun. Keep your eyes on this draft. I don't think it's the last we'll see of NIP pulling it out, as I have my phone fall on the floor. I had it on the floor because I was looking at Bat, reminding myself of his history. But we're away. I'm going to run some ads because we need to before the next game. Sorry about that. I did it again. I'm using this mouse and we can't use it because it's a laptop. My days. You'd think I'd learn. You'd think I'd learn. Right. Adverts incoming. Hang on. Why can't I run ads? Oh, you're kidding me. Did we get ads too early? Oh, boo. When did we last run ads? Oh, no. Man, I thought we'd run that. That's very obnoxious. Well, we'll try and run ads when we can to make sure we don't get this in the game themselves. In fact, there we go. Right, guys, I'm going to run a set of blocker ads to make sure we don't get ads in-game. That's really key. So I'm going to do that now. I'll turn off the other ads. Right. Pre-rolls disabled. Let's go. And I have turned off scheduled ads. That's how we're going to do this. So that way, theoretically, we are not going to get ads running in game. We've removed pre-rolls for people joining in for the game, which is really valuable. Ads in progress. I'm going to disappear for a second, set up my own PC. So I'm ready to stream after this, because I think we might be looking at a 3-0. And it's very early in the day, and I quite like to keep going. So we'll make sure we can do that. Back in a second, guys. Alright, I'm back. We're good to go. 14 seconds on the ad. Did IMP win in 2 games? Oops, scored best of 5. Yep. It's best of 5. It is. Doing big LeBlanc via soda. Fingers crossing for that one. Absolutely. Can I put on a wig? I do own a wig. I won't put it on quite nice. It's not a Nymaera color wig, I'm afraid. It's a very blonde wig. Nymaera used to be blonde once upon a time. Alex had a blonde phase. I need this one up. There we go. Hello, YouTube chat. Hello, Twitch chat. Hello, Anivia's chat. How are we doing over on Anivia? Restreaming for the first time today as well. Appreciate you over there. Hope you're having a good time. We're about to head into draft, so enough of us bantering with chat. Let's go talk about what could be our last game of the day. All right. Remember what's off the board? It's Fearless. So all of those champions at the bottom of your screen are not available. Rumble and Galio both off the table. If Galio is banned, Rumble has to be responded to. NIP over on the red side. Ambessa alongside the Ezreal as well. Not seen Ambessa yet today, and I think giving that one over to Shanji, who is a proponent of champions like Cassante and Ambessa and those kind of bruisery frontline annoyances can be pretty obnoxious. Kalista banned out as well. Bat is a player of it, but the Varus is left open. Unlike a lot of those LDL players, like a lot of AD carries in general, has got a fair amount of time on it, and the Varus first pick It's going to come on through. They tried the Ashe last game, and they're putting a lot of pressure on Bat to be one of those instigators. If you can't get the Ashe, the Varus will do just fine with the ultimate, and it's a pretty potent option with multiple ways you can build it depending on how the comps shake out. Shanji Renekton, though, is a classic and gets locked in. There is the Zyra as well. Oh, Shadow. Oh, don't play with my heart like this. It is 15.3. She's gotten buffed. Was famously a bit of an AP weird jungle player back in the day with Shadow, so who knows? Who knows? But that's a swift lock-in of the Karthus, and for those who do not remember Shadow, he was playing back in the LEC in Europe many years ago on Mad Lions. He was a Karthus player back then before it kind of came back around to meta a little bit last year. He has always had champions like that in his back pocket. You've locked in the Varus and the Nautilus. Your pick CC into Karthus pressing R can be pretty damn obnoxious. It's not dissimilar, honestly, to what we saw from FPX last game. Your ability to have the Karthus offer orbital lasers globally can be pretty dangerous on that one. If you add in a little bit more pick CC, your ability to hit that front target and blow them up could be very, very difficult for an IP to respond. But they've locked in the Silas early on, but you've already got good ults. Depth Charge, Requiem, Chains of Corruption, all pretty solid ults to steal. None of them make Silas tankier, though, and those are often the really, really coveted ones, because it allows Silas to get through to more rotations, allows him to brawl. It's going to be a bit more reliant on getting key targets with those ultimate targets. We'll keep our eyes on that. How did Jun do in GX? Was looking really, really good. Had a rough last week, but they're still like 4th, something like that. So did really well. Him and Noah were very good, for the record. And yes, indeed, Poltak Tobic, let me try that again. Poltak Tobic. We have indeed gone live on Anivia's channel as well. More LPL options for you guys to view. It's really exciting. Glad for you guys to be doing this. Hello, hello. Fabulous to see you all out there. With that restream, thank you for coming and watching us. We really do appreciate it. Of course, Twitch and Nymaera's YouTube. And, of course, the Anivia Highlights channel as well, doing some live stuff there. It's great fun. Draft from NIP, they're locking a Sivir. What this actually allows you to do now with Ryze, with Sivir, not Ryze, with Zyra, very different name, you can play Disengage pretty well here. And actually, if you steal some good ultimates from the sides, actually bust a shot as well to Disengage as a potential option as well. FPX are looking for these picks, not always going to have the easiest time of it. Care, long-time Tristana player, actually was pretty good on it last year, I think, from if memory serves. Maybe if Nymaera's in chat, he might remember a little better, but my memory of Care is that he was a pretty solid Tristana player, and with the Karthus behind you, you can play out side lanes really aggressively, because you can jump forward to trade, and you can have the extra man in your back pocket with the Karthus ult. I think Ornn as well gives you a really nice team fight now. You've got double AD carry with the Karthus pressing off your AP damage. Great pick in terms of the Ornn, in terms of the Nautilus, in terms of the Varus. And NIP, realistically going to have to play moving backwards quite a lot. But yeah, G2 blasted GX. There was that. Correct. Nico locked in. Now, Nico's an interesting one, because generally speaking, when we have seen Nico, it's been with the likes of a Kalista. Lane dominant AD carries, and preferably the Kalista in general, because when you go in, you've still got rooms to get pulled. You've still got rooms to get pulled out. That's not going to happen this game. You've got a little bit of tools to come help you get out. Zyra ult might be. The Sivir ult to either speed you up or get you out can be pretty valuable. But you are still going to have to do a lot of your own stunts here. And if you dive wrong into an Ornn, into a Nautilus, into Karthus, who's going to suddenly press R on you, you can definitely go too deep. And PP God, as a player, is not exactly known for being shy. He likes his champions like his Nico. There's a bit of a Lehens quality to this player, if that makes some sense. There's a bit of a barrelness to him, if perhaps a little less macro savvy and a little bit more aggressive hands. If it goes wrong this game, and it could, because for me this is NIP's least cohesive draft, Not a bad draft by any means. You can see how it plays, and they've certainly got carries available. Then it could get kind of interesting. This is the most generic of drafts. Getting ready to go on the Rift. Aki on the Zyra, the 1 AP jungler that he really made a name for himself. Doinby back on that Sylas. And on the other side, FPX fighting for their series lives. The composition makes sense. Hit first target. Blow them up. Start to win out those fights with those double AD carries. Hell, if you run that Varus as a poke option, you can do some work there. But I think the lethal tempo option makes sense. You've got frontline. You've got damage. You've got engage. It is tried and true as it gets. Nautilus looking for the level 1 play. I'd love to listen to the gyros with the plays happening. I am just going to hold the mic for a second. The fans still passionate. They want to see the play. And Shanji chunked, but not taken too much lower. And NIP don't want to opt into the brawl. I think that makes sense with the Nautilus there. The resets will come on through. And we pull away safely. Wards dropped. We're looking for a third game of lane swaps. Aki, think you're starting up on the Raptors because you can clear out those Raptors and then immediately head over towards the enemy side of the jungle and look to play it out. Or FPX good looking to just re-invade on the other side. I think they might be. This is going to try to interrupt the plants on Aki. He's not going to be able to use those plants. That's rough for the Zyra. Well, lane swap secured. I'm going to take a quick drink of water because I need to. Ah, Bisto. That's a quote from Hysterics. Lomao. Oops. Fearless Vessels. No. Oh, Hysterics. Oh, Jake. We've now got ourselves a pretty cool spot. With the lane swap coming on through, Shanji forced to deal with it. And Jue will be Spider-Manning his way up to join his opposing number. Shadow needs to be a bit wary there. He's very low, and I think Shanji could slice and dice to at least claim some of those Krugs. I wonder whether he wanted to sit and fight. But not going to happen. And interestingly, it was Bat and Sheer that were asked to share the XP. And Jue was not. Went mid lane instead. Teleport towards that bot lane from Sheer, who's level 2. But there are 3 members down here. Or not the easiest to dive. Flash on forwards. Gets on to leave. Gets an auto off. The boomerang blade comes flying across. Missed the grasping roots. So there will not be anything else as Leave gets knocked up. Takes a bit of damage there to Sheer. We'll back away. Aki's still around though, and with the plants you can be really obnoxious about stopping backs just by basically pressing QW. It's really annoying. And Shanji trying his best to be useful topside, get to that level 2. Sheer back to the lane. Still has level 3. Throws on a Volcanic Rupture onto PP God, but he's not taken turret aggro yet. Nice charge though. The heal comes on through, and the dive works out. Turret is scary, but not scary enough to dissuade the dive. Shanji has to flash away from the dredge line, but does survive going down himself on the other side. Alright. Game state. Favouring NIP slightly. They're the ones who come away with the initial first blood, but Shadow's been able to farm his way to a lot of early stuff, and over the wall with Dwayne. The thing is, there's a ward in that Raptor bush. I believe it's Doombees. What a smart ward. Raptors respawn. Shadow will pick it up, and there won't be any flash onto the Sylas for now. I should have refilled my water, guys. I didn't do it. That was foolish. Foolish, I say. PP God. Can you count the minions? Can you count the minions? Care, are you taking care? No. Fine. Fine. Tangle Barbs are buffered well by the W. As a rocket jump away. Keeps the bot laner away. It's the way we'll phrase that one. Not quite an apple, really, is it? I feel like apples are probably better for you than rockets, generally speaking. It's a lot of fumes you're inhaling as Tristana. Also, generally speaking, does this count as animal cruelty? You are forcing a dragon to be a weapon of war. Like, you're just holding it up and squeezing it to force it to breathe fire at your opponents. Like, is this correct, chat? Also, one of the saddest death animations in League of Legends. We move back over. This FPX might be caught in rotation a little bit here. Chwei hit with the tangle barbs into another bit of those root, but nice buffering with the dredger. Not that much damage as yet, so don't overplay it. And PP God turns into Silas. And Doomby steals the Ornal, and honestly, we didn't really talk about it too much. Ornal is really nice as a deal to steal. And Silas has a great name for it. Myself and Alex came up with the name of Call of the Forgery God. When Silas steals that ult, flash! Stretch line is flashed away from Aki. The turnaround now from PP God. Mr. Tangle Barb, but throws out that empowered auto with the shape changer. Don't forget to hydrate myself, says Poltak. Thank you, I do appreciate it. Yeah, I have got water and I have got coffee. I have got some. I just need to actually drink it rather than just entirely chat this entire time. One of those solo casting things, you can end up just talking a lot. And I do that anyway. I'm a very talky person, guys, if you figured that one out. I'd be surprised if you hadn't. Hook. Oh, dear. PP Gods. Should be fine. Follow-up damage isn't that great, but Shadow will pick up a Dark Harvest stack. And the resets come on through. Grubs were secured by NIP. It's a lot slower game this time around. By this point last game, we were looking at a bit more significant action. But we shall continue to play. And see how things level up. And again, it is that on-hit Varus who's going towards the Blade first. Blade the Rune King first, of course. I actually need to clarify because there are a number of Blades in the game. Rage Blade, of course, being the other one that is notable on the Varus. Call of the Forgery Gods. Ornn, very upset that people are able to copy his powers, and Silas goes, what is a god before my ability to ignore copyright law? Doomby has no shame on that front, apparently, alongside Silas. And the dragon is not real, apparently, so it doesn't count as endangerment of animals. Fair enough. And maybe in fairness, you know what? It's a dragon. I feel like of all creatures you'd want to use in a battle, I feel like dragons have got to be right up there. Ooh. Not Pop Blossom, the Blooming Burst, that's the one. Alongside the Tangle Barbs, just land on down to the Nautilus. And again, it's been little bits of these supports looking for plays, some flashes blown here and there, but not all that much outside of it. Nocturne and Zyra, both farming, both at level 6. Zyra's gone for an invade. Karthus is bot side. Did he just pick, looking to re-invade onto a Gromp on the other side? We'll lose the blue buff, though. So a bit of a win currently for the Zyra. And it'll be at least 30 seconds or so until that blue buff spawn on the other side. So it should just be a camp up and the blue buff steal, which is pretty valuable. Care. Rocket jumps away. Doesn't want to get caught up by the Ruthless Predator is the name of that one. Aki still on this top side. Sheer playing weak side as Ornn is just forging away. Speaking of forging, we'll call the Forge God to clear the wave. Wave clear ultimates, gotta love it. Doomby interrupts a bit of a charge, but not that much more value happening. And interesting as well that we have seen Shanji asked to lane into the Tristana, while it is the Silas that is going into the Ornn and saying, look, this is the better matchup for Silas. And Silas not always had the easiest top lane matchups of late, was once a very niche counterpick into things like the Ornn, right? And saying that actually, we want the Silas into the Ornn. It's a good matchup for Silas. We'll play that matchup right now. And Shanji, about to be on the wrong end of a dive, will flash, slice, dice, try to get as much damage out of the can. Chwei will not fall. Oh my days, 14 HP. Nice kill onto the Crocodile, who did not have the dominance to work with. Aki is here, looking to punish Shadow, but that's still pretty scary. Flash on out of the Strangle Thorns. And now a fight over the blue buff commences. Who's got Smite? Neither jungler. I think they both used it. The thing is, NIP is saying, well, you've made this play bot lane, and you've killed our top laner, sure, but we'll just get top tier 1 for this. And that they do. Leave has donated it. Gone towards the Cull again. Had the Cull on the Jhin. I had a good time with that one. Back goes Doomby. Has got a Dark Seal. And, of course, a Hextech Rocket Belt. Not an item we see as much anymore. Used to be a very, very staple item on a number of champions. Somewhere out there, Nymaera crying about the fact that we don't have Rocket Belt Ari anymore before the renames and all of those reworks and mythic items and that era of League of Legends. But Sylas still loves it. It gives him more room to find his way into a fight. Cheap item too, which can be pretty valuable when sometimes you don't get access as easily to farm. Particularly into matchups like Tristana, who can just sort of bully you out quite a lot, but NIP get over to the Grubs. More likely get all of the sets of these, and Aki's done a really good job of keeping those plants alive and not aggroed by the Grubs. Can be sometimes a bit annoying depending on plant spawns, but does it well. And away we go. Shanji trading up with Care. But the thing is, of course, Care on this Tristana would have loved some Grubs. Tristana with Glubs is a different beast, but has been able to chunk out a lot of these plates. And Tristana is a really weird champion in the sense that we saw her a lot last year. A lot. To mixed success depending on what region you were in. And a lot of that was predicated on, have we been able to get this Tristana to 2 items fast enough that she isn't stalling for a third? Because Tristana spikes really hard at 1 item and then kind of needs to wait to get some levels, to get some range, is quite frustratingly single target. Needs to get a lot of autos off to get her bomb on, and that's not always that easy. And if you get stalled at 2 items, you just don't have the damage sometimes to deal with people who build some of those tankier options. Shanji's gone forward here, will get knocked out, and NIP overstep a little bit there. Give over a kill to this Tristana, and a Tristana that has done a good job. Picking up some gold could be pretty scary. Doomby's going on forward trying to get the kill. Will likely trade on out. The Kingslayer is solid, but it ends up just being an extra kill. Oh, the Tangle Buff's just shy. Remember, Shadow in the Requiem can still do a lot of work, and Care is safe enough to survive. Ends up being a 2-for-1 for FPX, and that's just the feat of martial mastery to them. Good for the side of FPX. Aki, though, with PP gone and the health bars being so low, and 6 Grubs, will be able to likely trade out at least a plate here. Maybe get some more. There's a Requiem being chat. Oh, goodbye, PP God. The burn. Oh, he's not quite got even with the Black Fire Torch. Just about alive. 13 HP I just saw. Probably lower. I think there was a tick of regen coming on through. Oh, Shadow. He's going to be so frustrated that one didn't come through. Sheer on the other side has to flash. Is doing B has teleported, looking for this angle. Can't quite find it, but we'll get the flash. I can see some rage in chat. And I don't blame you. I would be very, very, very angry on the side of Shadow. That should have been a kill. That's a level 7. With no HP. Okay, there's a Kindle Gem now. But there was like no HP. Like that should have been a dead Nico. And I would like to put into complaint to right that has not happened. And actually now as well, because of all these plays, Shadow has had to give up a lot of their farm. Aki's gone down, taken the turret, gone through and taken out the red side quadrant. And the farm that had been pretty even is now very much not. That is suddenly a 30s lead. And that's what happens in the jungle in matchups like this. You start to lose control of your jungle. You start to lose access to farm. And as a Karthus, that sucks. This Zyra is going to back having full cleared and be an unspeakable amount of gold. In fact, we've not seen it now, but I am imagining that this Zyra is sat on 1.5, maybe even 2,000 gold at this point, with the fact that she got a turret, got a kill, got, 3 quadrants worth of farm, I think, there as well. It is rough times to be that poor old Karthus. And it's not even their fault, right? Like, this is why jungling is a team sport. You have to back away there. You can't not be. But still very frustrating. At least got 3 assists. Your Tristana is 3-0. Care is a win con this game. That'll be another turret that Tristana gets. Great news. You want that early gold on that Tristana to get through that dip on the 2-item mark. Get towards as much damage you can. I've gone towards the Yuntual Wild Arrows as well, which scale up as you go in. Actually a pretty good item on the Tristana, but you are, particularly with this one and the way that items are working right now for crit AD carries, the conversation about this, that you're really waiting for 3 items. Because you aren't getting a Lord Doms until a little bit later on. You aren't getting safety until a little bit later on. So if you're going Infedge second. You aren't going to get that there until a bit later. You don't really get the Kraken Slayer that was so nice early on, where Kraken Slayer Infedge felt like a really good 2-item spike. In some ways, it's back to 3-item spikes for a lot of these crit item carries, and that can be a little difficult to manage. Still, 40 CS lead in the mid lane. Silas has been roaming around a lot more. And it has come at a bit of a cost. I mean, NIP are still up in gold, and a lot of that's in the jungle. But this Tristana could be really problematic. Look who's a roaming. Here comes the Sivir with the ultimate, and Sheer goes down. Shanji picks that one up and is a grateful recipient of the kill, as Leave pressed on the hunt to join the team. With the fact that they've got 6 scrubs, I feel like they could probably look to go a bit further here. Doombi. Stolen Chains of Corruption. Rocket Belt flash away. Styles his way out of danger, but does cost him a summoner. Okay. And as you said, Leave has got a wave, has got 6 scrubs, will force a teleport. That's half the turret HP. Just walks on out. Ornn's there. I don't think it's going to force anything else. Flash for the flash read on that massive turnaround. The Buster Shot out of the Pot Blossom. And Zyra's here. At least gets one back. Oh, beautiful moment. It looked great. That Buster Shot on the Pot Blossom. Care, take your hat off. But Doombi is dead. Aki's had to burn flash. Yes, you lost your support, but the damage in many ways is done. And the Herald's just spawned. How much do they want to fight this? You've learned a lot of summoners. I think FPX are going to be in an okay position to start this one off, personally. They certainly are for now. Bat, still full HP. Got a Blade of the Rune King himself. This will be a really good way to break that mid lane. And when you've got a Sivir, when you've got a Zyra, the wave clear can be a bit obnoxious to break. Let's have a look at this one. So Doombi gets red on the Abscond of Duck. Aki flashes out of Thresh. And actually, Doombi ends up body blocking it for him. PP God forced out of that ultimate with a wicked Buster Shot as well. It means that they do end up going 1-4, but the kill onto Doombi is pretty valuable. And of course, getting that kill on Bat feels really nice, keeping your Varus in this game. Aki onto the Dragon, though. Could be pretty good. Turret secured in terms of feats of mastery for NIP. Kills secured by FPX. And it's the first time, really, that they've been the ones who've been leading the way when it's come to starting off a lot of those kills. Leave. Nice spell shield, but Care jumps over the wall with the rocket jump. And an explosive charge alongside a Requiem. Ensures a kill onto the Sivir. Had nowhere to go. And NIP get a decent knock-up with the Stranglethorns, but they just can't run far enough. Care flashing, trying to get the last auto. The plants, not quite enough to burn. Finally gets a shutdown on Care, but the damage is done. That is 3 dead in the blink of an eye, and 2 of them went to that Tristana. Pot Blossom isn't bad, but the turnaround is super well buffered by Sheer using the Bellows Breath to ignore the CC. Sheer tries and gets one back. That's Bat down. Has got a lot of healing, but just doesn't have enough in the tank. Shadow stays alive, picks up a kill. And now 8 stacks on the Dark Seal. Oh, Aki had been trying. He had gone so far ahead in this jungle matchup. Had gone for the Shadow Flame to really abuse the fact that he was the one with the lead. But this play goes wrong. PP God on the Nico is not that tanky. They see the Herald coming on down. And then Jway forces the spell shield on Leave, and the team is split, and Care jumps. And without the Sivir, the fight gets ugly. That teleport ain't pretty from Doombi. He's just another person on the chopping block. You think, imagine if Leave was alive with that Stranglethorns and throwing Ricochet throughs, it looks so different. That blue trinket initial bit of vision gives space for the last auto, but the plants still follow up. And then at this point, they really want to hold this turret. And Shanji thinks, well, maybe I can play. The health bars are pretty low. There's a Pot Blossom available. But the CC onto Shanji stops him getting through on a good timing, forces him to flash, and then use the Ruthless Predator to get onto the Varus. Great hop from Care. Buster Shot back, but is buffered well by the Rocket Belt. And Care falls. Doombi punishes. Big moment, and a shutdown going to the Silas. And NIP still actively with a gold lead, by the way. Despite that play, they are up 2,000 gold. A lot of that's off turrets. A lot of that's off the fact that this jungle is up so much. 2,000 gold nearly in the jungle, mostly off farming kills. Aki holding down that line alongside some good stuff from Leave. Let's have a look again, because that turret is dead to right, and Care is just like, I want to try and hold this best I can. But the thing is, that turret is a placebo, right? 2 autos, even without minions, brings it down. And the Buster Shot isn't enough to disengage the Rocket Belt Zyra, who basically Rocket Belts through the Buster Shot, and the wall behind as well means there's not that much far you can get away. Trist shut down twice in a row. I think so, but I'm not actively sure because I think Trist was 5 and... I think so. I might be wrong. I thought with the 5 and 0 there was enough of a shutdown that Trist still had it, but maybe I was wrong. As Karthus disappears from this mortal plane. My days. Nico hits him with the Tangle Barbs, and Karthus ain't fantastic if he's hit with CC, as we see. Just playing with the passive, guys. Cogmore strats. But reminder, that was Atakard up, and NIP can head on over, and there's no smite. FPX going to be obligated to fight this. Kez here, he's a lot of the gold, but Doomby, splitting with 6 grubs, will take this tier 2, and despite FPX, the on-screen stuff, the eye candy, has been good for FPX. They've been trading pretty evenly. This gold lead is still extending a lot of this. It's the resource acquisition is just better. Aki has gotten more CS. The AD carries have gotten more CS. And the turrets going down as well with these grubs is problematic. Yes, you've got a win condition in this Tristana, who's picked up the Infinity Edge second. The burst is brutal with this Tristana, even if the DPS perhaps not as high without having a little more attack speed. But got a Rage Blade on your Varus, got an Infinity Edge on the Tristana, they can still be win cons. The problem is, Doomby's still at 2 items, still enough of a threat to be obnoxious, and you've still got this Zyra, who's just picked up the Verdant Barrier to make it harder for her to pick. You've still got this Sivir, who is farming really well, is still scaling incredibly well herself. Reminder, Essence Reaver, Yundao Wild Arrows will do a lot of work as this game goes on, as we look towards, I think, what will be an Infinity Edge third as well. There's not that many armor builders as yet. There will be eventually, of course, but hey, you've got yourself a Black Cleaver and a Liandry's on your top jungle from NIP, so you're not that obligated to buy armor shred and HP killing items as yet, even into the Ornn. Not quite yet. I'm sure there will be a Lord Dominic's Regard at some point in this build. And again, I will still see, I don't think NIP's draft is as cohesive. It's not as singularly themed as the last two were, and I think FPX have gotten a slightly more cohesive draft, right? Double AD carry with pick, with Karthus able to follow up. You can jump on someone like this Sivir and blow her up. The team fights are theoretically easy. But it's not like NIP don't have tools, and they've certainly got carries with gold. FPX are going to come and play this one. Call of the Forgery God. Doomby forces like every flash under the sun, but the Pop Blossom is awful! There's nothing for it to grow in. It's a 1-for-1 right now, but then Care starts firing, and they lose the Sivir, they lose the Nico. Yes, you've lost Shadow. That's the smite down, that might be enough, but can Aki and Doomby with Shanji alongside be enough damage to stop this dragon? I think you've got enough frontline and CC to allow these two AD carries to really punish NIP. Aki without flash as well. Not going to have an easy time getting towards this dragon. But slowed by the Ocean Dragon. Remember, the Ocean Dragon's slow is really, really obnoxious. People forget how obnoxious those slow on autos are in this dragon. But FPX just say, we can't fight it even with the man advantage. We don't have enough to deal with the smite and enough of the front line. So down it goes. The resets were available, and they just say, no, we have to pull back. Let's have a look at the replay. Because FPX force their way in. Hook lands onto PP Gods. And then Doomby has a killer ult. It forces so many flashes. Sheer flashed out of the Pop Blossom, having immune the ult with his Bellows Breath. That is, however, a great pick from PP God onto the backline of Shadow. But the problem is, it leaves you overextended. It leaves Leave in a really difficult position. They lose two, and you're thinking, well, okay, we've got Nautilus Ornn, surely we can play this one out, but if they go too far forwards, the counter-engage with the Zyra is still really obnoxious. Chwei, Spider-Manning to safety, but there's a stolen depth charge, puts Chwei into danger, and Leaf gets that one. PP God, Zhonya's, over the wall goes K, down to half HP himself, Shanji looking for an angle, Doomby also looking for an angle, and that means Shanji to the backline on the Renekton! Buster Shot alive, keeps Care, he's got the Honey Fruit, keeps himself alive, and Bat will get one. The problem is, your double AD carries aren't there to play, and you lose 3 members because your backline was dealing with the Renekton. And that's Atakan, surely it's Atakan, there's no smite. And there's no frontline either. Your AD carries would have to pull off a miracle, and FPX get pounced on Let's have a look at the replay, because it happened in the blink of an eye. Dway gets jumped. Looks for a moment, gets CC'd. Decent buffering, but then watch Shanji in a second. Leave has a great angle over the wall, and the chains of corruption do land. And you're thinking, excellent, we can punish. But the Zhonyas make the Nico a lot harder to punish than she once was. And on the other side, Care lost half their HP dueling with Doomby. And Shanji, with a flash, slice, dice, means that Bat and Care are not dealing with the other side of this fight. Yes, you got the kill, great. But you've lost the rest of your team doing this. Care kept himself alive, got to the honeyfoot, and that's all well and good, but the front line ain't frontlining at this point, and PP God has been pickable for a lot of this game, but that stopwatch, that arm guard was really, really valuable. Of course, won't have Zhonya's for a little bit. Gold income on a support, not that high, so that can be problematic. It is only second Drake, but it is also 3,500 to 4,000 gold lead, and a third item on this Sivir, who has an Infinity Edge, and a fully stacked Wild Arrows, and an Essence Ring. And a Zyra that has gotten to build a Medjai's 4th. Happy enough to sit on the Verdant Barrier. This Zyra is going to be so annoying this game. I cannot begin. Over to the Baron they go, and FPX have to force into this. It is not going to be fun. I just don't know whether they can. You've got a Sivir and a Zyra. This will die. Hell, Silas ain't exactly low DPS either. If he can swing through the rotations, can be a bit mana hungry, but I think it's just gone. Baron's dead. Care will trade out with a tier 2, but they say, look, we don't want to fight. We just want to get as much gold as we can and play out with that. And especially the problem is you've lost out of Khan too. You don't realistically win the Baron fight. So you have to trade out where you can, but now you've got Baron, and you didn't have mid lane shove, and you still got Atakan withdrawals to work with alongside this Baron. This shove could be lethal. Picked up a third item on Barrett, he's got a Wit's End. You've got 3.5 items on Care. You have the damage to fight. Potential. But if this breaks the base in too meaningful a way, FPX are going to struggle to ever leave their base again. Call of the Forge God. Sorry, Call of the Forge God. On the other side, PP God goes in and Karthus dies again. They cannot keep this Karthus safe. Shadow is a Shadow again. Is forced into that Wraith form, doesn't pull the ultimate, doesn't want to waste it. It's still on too long a cooldown to think about popping it early, especially with the withdrawals available. Wants to try and hold on to it for a last gasp defense, but that's inhibitor number 1 down in the mid lane. Inhibitor number 2 with 6 scrubs, and Baron falls in the blink of an eye. And Ninja's in pajamas. There's nothing ninja about this. This is a battering ram to the front door. This is ninjas in the sense of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is ninjas in the sense of like Shen. Like very visibly obvious people who don't care about being very bold and brash. And I see Nymaera in chat. By the book, guys. If you're a Nymaera sub, and there are a few of you now today, after that Mecha Fanboy 100 sub bomb. Thank you for that, guys. You can throw the by the book emote in there as well. Look, if they murder all the witnesses, is it not stealth? I'm not going to have this argument with you because that leads down an ethically very dangerous road. Oh boy. Okay. So, Dragon spawns in 5 seconds. And we are about to find our way towards Tristana desperately shoving away. Needs to try and hit 4th item. And in fairness, Care at level 16 with the Draw a Bead passive. If you've gotten this, Lord Dominus regarded as the 4th item. If you get free time, you will destroy people. But I just don't know how easy it's going to be. Chains of Corruption land, stolen from Doomby. Shadow just about alive this time, but it's just not being able to stay safe. Good rocket jump away, but Doomby's gone golden. The tower falls. Call of the Forge God summoned across the backline, but PP God will force the Searing Charge away, and the inhibitor falls regardless. And NIP now down every inhibitor, and about to lose Soul Point as well. So what on earth do you do as FPX? You have Ornn items coming. Tristana just got an Ingraded Infinity Edge. Wants to be the Molten Edge once upon a time before they undid all the Masterwork names for Ornn, which were quite cool once upon a time. Give them back. I want my names on items. Mortal Reminder picked up as well for some anti-heal versus your Sivers and Silas, of course, and even the Renekton, of course, will have some as well. So, understandable choice this game, I think. There's Soul Point. Can you get a 4th item on the Varus? Maybe that'll be enough. Can you let this Tristana actually auto-attack? But it feels like the front line, they're the part of the map that has really suffered for FPX. Yes, you've got gold into your carries, but the front line isn't working as a front line to give them room to attack. Not really. Lasagna's now compete for PP God as well, so a lot harder to pick off. That Nico is snowballed hard enough to be a threat. There's the Pop Blossom, flash away. Bat has to flash on out himself. Big set of summoners to lose. Your flash, your cleanser, what could be the final defense? NIP shove on in, Shanji to the back line. Bat doesn't have any more resists. He gets it, stays alive, but you've lost 2 already because the ricochets fly on forwards. The Requiem comes on in, but it's just for FPX's dream. It is a final song. They're trying to play it out. Bat does not have enough in the tank. Care was dead, and NIP make it a 3-0. This team was supposed to be bit parts. Players that hadn't been quite enough, but were decent enough. Durenby coming back as a hype moment, yes, but as a stream player, as not the player he once was, surely. And instead we are looking at one of the best teams in the LPL. They look coordinated. They look happy. They look like they know how they want to play League of Legends in this fearless system. And I think a lot of other teams are going to be rightly wary of them. They take a bow. It's well earned. FPX. It's a tough one. There's a lot to learn, but they are not going to have it, really, this split, I don't think. There's still a lot to go. A lot of these players, I think, one day will be good. I'm just not sure whether it's going to be today. So, welcome back, one and all. I'm Initialise, not Nymaera. We're on Nymaera's Twitch channel. We're over on Nymaera's YouTube channel. We're also over on Anivia's YouTube channel. Thank you very much for hanging around with us. I really appreciate it. It's been great to have you all out here. Wonderful to be doing some LPL action. Wonderful doing some best of 5 action with you all. It's been great. It's been really good fun. NIP deserved victors, I think, today. How FPX has fallen. Lost some of their core parts from last year, unfortunately, I think. How NIP have risen. We'll wait on the MVP. And then we will go over to my stream. I'll set up my stream. I'll go play for it. It's been a nice 3-0. Nice chill start to the day. We'll go from there. Quick heads up. Please do follow myself. Please follow Nymaera on this channel, on YouTube. Follow Nivea as well, of course, who'll be restreaming all of our games on YouTube now as well. So welcome to a broader YouTube commander as well. It's been a YouTube audience as well. It's a pleasure to have you guys out there. Really cool to be working with Nivea on a lot of this as well. I'm really excited to see where that goes. We have got a podcast coming as well. Do myself and Nymaera. In fact, depending on how things shake up, not talked with him about it yet. We might even do our first episode on Tuesday. We'll see. Might have to wait for the week after that, but we'll see. Still, make sure you follow the follows at me as well. I'm Initialise Casts here on Twitch. We're going for my channel afterwards. Please do that. Please go follow me on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all those things as well. All of the support means a huge amount. But bro, you're great on Best Damn League Show. Thank you for I appreciate it. It was really fun. Peter's a gem as well to bounce stuff off because his knowledge of things like pathing is like encyclopedic. He has spent so much time researching players that he would have said, yeah, I know this player from 3 years ago. He spent all this time saying this is how this player passed and wants to play the game. And so he's really good at telling you what kind of player he is and what kind of, like, I think particularly for supports, Peter's got a great read on how a support wants to play the game and who they'll sync with. And that's just good team building skills. That's good GM skills. They are just 0-1. So stream, thank you very much. Can't I do it? We're going to release for that. Yeah, absolutely. Do be always smiling with the team. Yeah, exactly. He is such a joy to have in the league. He is such a character, and he has been missed. Especially when he's going to be playing like this. It's great news. It really is. It's great news. What on earth is our schedule for tomorrow? That's a good question as well. I'll pull that up as well. We're back again tomorrow. Of course. What is our schedule for tomorrow? Please tell me. LPL schedule. I need to change. I mean, just made sure I set up things for tomorrow. That's why. I need Lord Phantom. We're gonna wait on the MVP. That's what we're gonna do, and then we'll stream raid over to mine. We'll hold on for you guys on YouTube as well. There we go. That's the damage. Sheesh. Leave and Aki doing a lot of work this game. Shadow unfortunately kept getting caught. It was really difficult. Don't get me wrong, part of that is the fact that every time FPX went forwards, NIP would catch Shadow when they did it. It was really difficult. And yeah, kind of hit a point there. Despite what should have been a good front to back, the front didn't keep the back alive, and that was really difficult. Yeah, your English literature bachelor's degree really showed in the Best Damn League show. Oh, well, hopefully I would love to do some more stuff with those guys. They're really, really cool. And yeah, I cheat a little bit because that was my background is English lit. Alex's background is physics. We kind of have a good mix and match of our background. I'll keep the camera on because I'm chatting with you guys. I'm chilling now. The highlights for this series and for this game, pretty cool. So split 1+. What is the series tomorrow, guys? What is the series tomorrow? I should know this, but I'm a bit fried. Slovenia, It's just not been updated. It's not been updated. God no. Go. Yeah, put the blinds down a bit low. Oh, it's a bit bright again, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah. It does, like, I'm slowly getting darker and darker as the light consumes me. Ugh. Yeah. There we go. Whoa. Oh, you can see me again. Hello, guys. Hello. That's much better. The light was getting a bit all-consuming there. Much better. I think Showmaker for LCK, Knight for LPL. It's the best mids. I think that's fair. Knight's been playing super well. Yeah, Knight's just been really, really good. And he's playing things like Vladimir into Aurora and really smashing it. I think Quid, the moment I saw Quid get that quadra kill on the Silas, even in the losing game, well, yeah, Quid's been really playing well for LTA. I can agree with that one, Veer. See you around, Poltak. Thanks for coming around. I think Capture IC also makes some sense. I think Humanoid is another shout. I think Humanoid has also been playing really good League of Legends right now. And if you want another shout for that one. Yeah, I think Showmaker is... Like, the fact that Showmaker is able to pull out Zoe, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. It makes such a difference. Yeah. What a wonderful day that was. See who the MVP is? I think for this game, it's Aki. Aki had a wonderful game. Thanks for the follow, guys. And remember, follow me. Follow Alex. Make sure it's happening. And then I will be going to ensure my stream has started. And we'll be raiding on over. And we'll be going from there. So please don't leave people on Twitch. YouTube, guys. Can't raid you over, which is a bit of a shame. But once upon a time, we'll get you over there. Maybe once that's enabled. But thank you very much for the kind words. I thought this was a good, fun day back. I appreciate you all for coming on in. And Nivea, thank you very much. And shout out to them for setting up the restream. Welcome again to our little community of LPL enjoyers. It's really cool to have you with us. And to have another place to get involved with the LPL, that's really, really awesome. We've been working on this one for a little while over the break, so that's really, really awesome. Here's our MVP. Aki. Aki. The 1 AP jungler the man looks legitimately scary on. It is the Zyra. You can't blame it. You really, really can't. I need to get out of full screen. Let me out of full screen. Okay, guys. I am going to leave it here. Thank you so much for working with it. YouTube, we say goodbye for now. We will be back tomorrow. 9:30 for the start of the stream, 10 for the games for that next series. Don't miss it. I'm going to raid over Twitch to my Twitch channels. For those who want to follow and keep on getting involved in League of Legends, we'll stream a little bit, have a chill time. Come enjoy that one. And I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.